Please, can we stand up for opening prayers?
Please come forward. Ìgboro wá jókòó báyìí dáa jẹ́ máa lójú ẹ̀mẹ́ ẹ máa bọ̀ ẹ́.
Jẹ́ ká lójú àdúrà. Jẹ́ ká lójú àdúrà.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for a day like this. Thank you for sparing our lives. Thank you for keeping us up to today. Father, we say we have exalted forever in Jesus' name. Amen. Father, we thank you for joining us from everywhere we came from this morning. Thank you, O God, for your grace that was made sufficient unto us. Father, accept our thanks this morning in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Father, we commit this meeting into your hands. We ask, O God, that you breathe on it in the name of the Lord Jesus. Amen. Every of our deliberations today, we ask, O God, that your spirit dwell with us all through in the name of the Lord Jesus. Amen. And by the time we come, Father, we ask, O God, that the same grace we enjoy through in the name of the Lord Jesus. Amen. Thank you, everlasting Father. In Jesus' mighty name, I pray. Amen. Sing aloud, amen.
Amen. Still in that let's go sing our school song. La 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 la. What should go one day? School of our wheels on the road, by all the justice and fairly ruled, may what we dare to learn from the youth, the gathered throughout the land, school of our pride, we build on thee, service to all that's not to self, consideration for our nation first, by our examples and not by precept, show honesty, but dignity, soul of our right, we build on this generation shall come and go, but our pride you will forever remain. May we not in the confines of your walls, but in the long night word renowned, school of our right, we built on the we have our seats, please. Let me quickly stand in for my secretary, and I quickly read out the notice of the meeting of 11 a.m. Even though we are starting by 12:22, our standing secretary for today should please take note. Venue, seminar room, Faculty of Science, University of Lagos, and Lagos. Our host is Mr. Okwe Oyelade from Brisbane, Australia. So let me quickly run through the agenda. First is our business presentation, which is on wheels and other protective arrangements for a vulnerable spouse, and you can see the title, and we will shortly introduce the speaker. Then from there we move on to review of minutes of November 2016 and January 2017. We look at matters arising. We provide updates on entrepreneurship committee report, update on family weekend, update on group life policy, update on UK reunion. Then Mr. Oladele's retirement event, which is slated for 4th March 2017. Then I will read out the appreciation. We do the appreciation of our host. and I will read out his prepared remarks, which he shared with you. Then we go to any other business. Now, today's meeting is special in so many ways. It happened in our anniversary weekend, or it's an anniversary week. Then Yinka Yusuf is also marking his birthday today, and he's also here. So we will do all those felicitations at the appropriate time. Secondly, based on the provision made by Mr. Okwewuye-Lade, by 1:30, by the grace of God, we are going to move very fast. So my brother, you will only have 20 minutes to run through some of the provisions, so that by 1:30, the provision he has made will not be cooling. We will need to go break this meeting and start to quickly do some Ishe Iyanu, the wondrous works of the Lord, but through the mouth to the stomach. Then thereafter we can continue with some of our, anything we can take as we are doing the Ishe Iyanu, we will do that because of people that are also traveling back to Ibadan. So without much ado, the business presentation is to be presented by Mr. Shola Arifayin. Mr. Shola Arifayin is the principal partner of Ikeyi and Arifayin & Co. I've known him for the past, this is the 17th year that we have known each other. He's an astute legal practitioner, solicitor. His forte is transaction advisory and all whatnot. Now, he was supposed to deliver this in person, only for him to miss his flight this morning for some diverse combination of reasons. So he has asked Mr. Kodizie Achonoyin to please represent him. It's not out of a slight to any one of us. He actually planned to be here, but something just happened this morning. His flight took off without him. So please, may I welcome to the podium Mr. Kodizie Achonoyin.
Hello, good afternoon, sirs. I want to start by thanking the Old Boys Association of Government College Ibadan for the honor to be here to share this time with you and make this presentation. Again, I want to express the regrets of Mr. Shola Arifayin for not being able to be here with you. So, because of time, I'll just go right into it. This is a presentation titled A Shield for Tomorrow, Options for Protecting the Inheritance Rights of spouses, children, and loved ones that are left behind when a loved one goes. So I will try and take us through some of the basic options that people can put in place to protect their loved ones. So I imagine that most people here have family structures in place, spouses, children, and so on. So one of the things that come up more and more nowadays is that when a loved one dies, are all claiming out of interest in somebody's property, and the spouse who is left behind, the children, may not have all the facts of their late father or husband. So there will be so much confusion and so much anxiety. So, but there are things that can be done to prevent these things from happening. It doesn't have to be the case all the time. However, as an introduction, there are certain things that we should all be familiar with. Basically, in our culture, we try to avoid discussing death. Death is a taboo topic. Tradition, in our culture, in our religion, the emphasis is on life, long life. You will live long, amen, and so on. And these are good things. However, it is inevitable that one day we won't be here. So, what can be done to prepare for that day? And there are facts that we know, which are verifiable. If the global life expectancy, according to the UN and the World Health Organization, is about 71 years old. However, in Nigeria, life expectancy today is lower. So, for example, a male child born in 2017, according to, depending on who is counting, the World Bank, the UN, or the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, a male child born this year will likely not go past his 53rd year. Some figures will say 52.3, some will say 53 point something, but basically 53. Of course, this doesn't mean that once the age comes, you drop dead. Of course not. But we are looking at statistics, and statistics suggest that if you were 40 years old on the 1st of January 2017, then you have about 13 years left. Now, of course, this is subject to your diet, the kind of job you have, all kinds of social security and economic factors, access to healthcare and so on and so forth, and the medical history and so on. So it's not inevitable. However, there are conversations that we need to have, either with our parents who may have a lot of property, or with our spouses if we have property. However, also you may think that, oh, I don't have much, so there's no need to disturb my spouse or my children with this information. But it doesn't matter. It can be just cash in an account. It can be your interest in your father's business somewhere or land somewhere. It doesn't matter how small it is. It is good to have a plan as to how it's going to be arranged. These conversations are not always comfortable. In African culture, it would be strange for a child to probably go and ask their parents, what is the plan for your land? It would be like, are you wishing for my death? So it's obviously a bit awkward to have these conversations, but it is always a good idea to avert future disputes. Because what you're trying to do is avoid a situation where in the future, because of lack of direction as to what Papa said, you will now have a conflict that may escalate into a court case, litigation. And we follow the news, we read news reports of prominent families who spend years and years and years and years in court over properties, when perhaps instructions could have been given and arrangements made to take care of this. And also, it's good to arrange your affairs in a way that your family doesn't have to worry about inconvenience of looking for property. So we heard that Papa had something in Kwara, where who is going to go there and look for it? Has it been mapped out? So it's good to just have everything arranged and put in an orderly fashion to protect your spouses and your children and spare them paying too many taxes and inconveniencing them. Now, the first option, and possibly the neatest, is the will. And we are probably all familiar with the will. It's basically a document where you write out all your properties and you declare who and who is going to get what. So your wife gets this, your son gets this, your daughter gets this. And you give instructions as to, okay, pay the school fees of this person and that person and so on and so forth. So you write, basically it's available to any adults to write. And when you write it, it's meant to be signed by you or signed at your instruction, and then it's supposed to be witnessed. Now, it's important that the people who witness it cannot be the people you want to enjoy it. So, for example, if you want your wife and child or relative or anybody to get something from your property, that person cannot witness the will. The person cannot sign as a witness. So, when you write it, you might have to look for somebody from outside, friends, colleagues, and so on, so that they can sign it. If somebody who you want to enjoy from that will signs it, the will becomes null and void and cannot be repaired. However, even if you have organized everything and written everything is in one document that's been signed, properly witnessed, you should also be aware that at the time that the family is trying to now take control of your property, a process called probate, when they're trying to get letters of administration from the court to take over your property, they will be liable in most states of Nigeria to a tax. And the taxes vary, but in a place like Lagos State, and I think most states in the south, there's a 10% inheritance fee charged. So what that means is that if you have property, the property is valued and then there's a 10% fee charged on it. So, and the family may be looking at the property and the money, but they may not have the money available right away to pay that tax. So these are things to bear in mind when writing a will, that tax may be imposed on the property. I recall that properties in Abuja, so let me give you a classic example. As of 4 years ago, a property in Lagos, if it was going through probate, you have to pay 10% of the value to get that property registered, to get the will, the pass through probate. In Abuja, no matter how expensive the land is, it was 50,000 naira. That's a huge difference. If the plot of land in Abuja was worth 1 billion, you're paying 50,000 naira on it. So, and Lagos was 10%. So that's also a difference to bear in mind, the amount of tax you pay. And also the fact that if you have property, so like a bank account in Kwara, land in Delta, the family will have to go through the process of probate in each state. There's a form to apply for, you have to sign for sureties, guarantors, you have to pay inheritance tax in those states, you have to advertise it in newspaper. So there's a process that family has to bear in mind. However, there is another way people can go about it. You can establish a family company, right? XYZ Nigeria Limited. And this family company will now be the owner of all the property. This probably makes sense where there's a lot of assets scattered in several places, and you want to keep everything together under the same roof. You don't want to give it to different people, spouse, children, and so on. And this also makes sense to the extent that even if the loved one dies, the property still remains in the hands of the family company. However, it's important to bear in mind that if you're going to form a family company to hold all these properties, the father figure, the property owner, shouldn't hold more than 50%, 100% of the shares. Why this is the case? So that in your absence, the family will have enough shares to take decisions. So that those who are still surviving, you will have enough shares to appoint new directors and do things quickly. Maybe sell land or do anything. Sign documents for the company and so on and so forth. Quickly. So, and it's always helpful to appoint the spouse and the children as directors, so that everybody is carried along. There have been examples of where some children were not on the board of directors, and afterwards it caused problems when other siblings blocked the other kids from entering the board of directors. So that can also cause problems. There have also been cases where family companies were formed, and the father figure didn't tell the family who the other directors were. So you see the name of the directors, but you can't find them. You don't know where they live. In some cases, they may be dead, but you don't even have access to their families to know if they are dead. Because if you want to tell the CAC that the director is dead, you have to present documents to prove that the person is dead. So if you don't even know where they live, you can't even do that. So these are things to bear in mind. So if you're going to use a family company, it's good to tell the family, please, this my friend is the director in the company, and please contact him if anything happens to me. Also, it's important to also bear in mind that if you use a family company, they are liable to pay tax of 10% on the income. So when the company receives rent and it appears in the books, the taxman can always come and ask the company for company income tax. Now, but of course, the good thing about the family company is that if the land is all over the place, Sokoto, Kwara, Enugu, anywhere, you don't have to go to each state to have it resealed, because it's still in the name of the family company, for example. Another option is basically what we call intervivors gifts. These are basically to dash property while you are still alive. And this can be anything. It can be land, it can be cash. So instead of waiting, so maybe you want to avoid the family going through the stress of probate and paying 10% tax and so on and so forth. You could just give your wife and children cash or land. However, if you're going to give land, you have to do it by deed, and the deed you have to pay stamp duty and consent fees, taxes for that, and it varies from state to state. However, once you have dashed the land, once you have executed the deed of gift, and you have paid the taxes and the fees, for example in Lagos, you have gotten governor's consent and it's registered, that means you cannot use that land for a business transaction unless the person that now owns the land, your spouse or your children, gives consent. So that's also something to bear in mind. Another option, which is not very popular in Nigeria but is also available, is to create a trust. This is this works similarly to the family company, but in this because it's different. In this option, you give the property, you vest the property or you dash the property to a third party, to a friend, relative, or a company. That person becomes the legal owner of the property. But then the person now holds it in trust for your loved ones. So the person or the company might be an expert in managing rental accommodation or commercial property. So that they will manage that property in a way that it generates regular income. And they will now be paying that money to the loved ones who are left behind. But again, it's also good to bear in mind that you have to appoint people that you can trust. If it's a person or if it's a company, there might be a fee for providing that service in some cases. And the document you're going to use to appoint the appointment will likely be taxable. You probably have to pay stamp duty on that. Then just as a last option that I'm going to discuss as a last option, there is a new service that is offered by some pension fund managers nowadays, where in addition to giving you retirement savings accounts, they also allow you to fill a kind of will template where you fill out, you list out all your properties and all your liquid assets, and then who you would like to benefit. And then for a fee, they will keep the will, register it, and then at the point of death, they will now take it for probate. I know I can think of one or two companies that do it, so that's also an option. However, you still have to pay for the service to these institutions, and the family will still be liable to pay the inheritance tax on it. Then lastly, I want to make comments on joint signatory accounts. You may know this already, but just in case some of us don't know, there's an assumption that if you have an account with your wife and anything happens to in your joint names and anything happens to you, your wife will still have access to the account. This in practice is not correct from what we have seen in our practice. What happens usually is that if there's Mr. and Mrs. X have an account, and maybe the man maintains the account mostly for the wife and the children, and he dies, as soon as the bank becomes aware that the husband is no more alive, they suspend activities on the account. Do something called the post-note debit. So just to make us aware that the fact that you have a joint signatory account with your wife, it doesn't mean that that account will survive you. If the bank becomes aware of your death, it will stop. Of course, if the bank doesn't know, the spouse will still have access to the account. What happens in cases of disunity is that somebody may approach the bank and inform them as a way to block off the spouse. So these are things to bear in mind. And just as a final comment, what we have seen, there is no family that we have advised in the probate process who the father of or who died expected that there will be civil war after he goes. Because they always think that everybody is united, my family is okay, my kids are okay, my wife is okay. But as soon as the man goes, sometimes the most unlikely relatives come out. And it can become very, very bitter. It can become extremely bitter. So, as a way to avoid these situations, one can consider ways to put arrangements to protect spouses and children from these kinds of problems. I don't know if we have time for questions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. We have questions.
Sorry, when you are talking about apply to, when the family start a business, Sorry. Does it apply to when the family start a business, when you are a limited liability company? And, during those laws, the husband will sign, the wife will sign, the children, they will come with. So, in this case of joints, you're saying that should anything happen to the husband, it's not likely that the wife will benefit from the account or so.
Okay. So basically, that question comes under the family company. Because in that case, the account is in the name of the company, right? So what happens is that even if the father was, for example, the sole signatory, what needs to happen is that the surviving directors will just inform the bank that the company has appointed new signatories, right? I think some banks will insist that the former signatory should sign. I think some banks insist on that. But then you can now provide the death certificate and then a resolution of the company appointing somebody else as of course they will now have to confirm that the person who is authorizing the directors are actually the directors of the company. But that one is easier to fix than when it is the name of the husband and the wife. Much easier to fix. Yeah. As long as the surviving wife is a director in the company. Because there was a case I handled where the wife was not the director of the company. So that can be a problem as well. So, but if the remaining shareholders are available, they are willing to cooperate, they can quickly appoint the wife and children as directors quickly.
So with that, your explanation, you just touched only the company. The corporate account and thereabout.
Yes.
There are some families that they have joint accounts as spouse, as couple, rather. You understand? Husband and wife and thereabout. They are not running same company. The wife does not belong, even their salary earners. You understand? But they still have same joint account. So when such a thing happens, what would you advise? Or, and the last one is, will you advise a joint account?
Okay, answer to the second question is, to advise a joint account is basically a domestic decision. It's basically domestic. However, to answer the first question, what you can do is that you can actually have a joint signatory account in the name of the spouse. So for example, instead of having Mr. and Mrs. Dele, you just have Mrs. Dele, but the man effectively operates it. So he will be a co-signatory and will basically operate it. But the point is that if he goes, the account is still in her name. So they will not suspend it. The problem is if it is Mr. and Mrs. Dele and he goes, problem. So, but of course, and some men don't have a problem with that. They can operate an account in the wife's name and so on and so forth. Some men may have legitimate concerns about it. So it's a domestic issue, really, in terms of whether or not you have. But I think people think that, with the joint account, it fixes the problem.
I have a question. It's definitely not about account stuff. What if you have a property, for instance, like a building? Okay, you got a land, you and your wife, Mr.
Mrs.
You are not going to die now. So in the case of death,
Yes.
the land is registered, you have all the documents in that.
Yes.
In case of death, and you know what is this Yoruba, the family is coming around to take over the family is coming to take over the land because it's tradition. Is it advisable? Is it good under the law? Is it something you advise?
For the family to come.
No. For someone to want to buy land for the security of the other.
Yes.
You you're not putting her name. Is it advisable?
So what he's trying to say
Please come again. Let me
is
get that question
how
clear.
do you counter
That possibility.
no, the traditional war that will happen?
The extended family can rise up tomorrow after the death of the man to tackle the wife. He is not asking, is it advisable to register a landed property in the name of your wife?
Yes.
Yes.
You can. Yes.
Yes.
You can. If those concerns are very, very high, then you can do that. But of course, you can do that because
What I'm deducing from this is you are talking in the case the husband died first.
The man kind of still wins. If the wife dies first, the man is in a strong position to ask for letters of administration. You are and in our culture, everything, nobody will challenge your rights to take control of property. You know, so in a way, it's still a win for the man.
You hold on to that.
Okay.
Sorry, there are only 3 people that we have recognized your aspirations.
Who are the 3 people?
Wale and Kayus.
Okay, so now we know what's funny.
It's not allowed.
Thank you. Last captain. I want to get a clarification about writing Mr. and Mrs. David and particular about that.
For the account.
You said it. Mr.
Yes.
and Mrs. David. It's not Mr. Amole and Patience Amole.
Okay.
It's basically Mr. and Mrs. David.
Yes.
I want to strongly believe that that very account is meant for the man.
Okay. That's what you mean.
Because I had a really quite long about that.
Okay.
So I've learned from that preparing any document for the family, I spell it out. Mr. Tunde Amole and Mrs. Patience Amole. So that it is so glaring that it's meant for the 2 of us.
So, Pastor, are you saying that patience is your...
Okay. Actually, I use Mr. and Mrs. Daly as shorthand.
Yes.
The experience we've had is, even when it is detailed, so Mr. Felix Daly and Felicia Daly's accounts, once one of them, it doesn't matter who dies first, once one of them dies and the bank becomes aware. So it happens that sometimes the bank will never be aware. It happens sometimes. Nobody knows. Yes, but to avoid, but there are cases where within hours of the person dying, the bank was informed.
Don't forget that each account holder has an account officer. If I continue to call you perpetually and you are not picking, at some point I will be forced to make inquiries from your colleagues or from some other people I know. And they say, you didn't hear, you don't pass on.
Yes, so this thing
Automatically.
These things happen. These things happen.
Wait,
You are solving that question.
No, this is professionally dọ̀tún èmi ń pọ̀ lórí ìyẹn ọjọ́ káwọn èèyàn béèrè question tán ṣé o mọ̀ pé tí a ti ra lélẹ̀ kí lórúkọ tó ń tọ́jú ìjà fóònù ọ̀sán
I have issues with some of my cousins. The father died a few days ago. Yes. And the children were searching for the will. Eventually, one of them got the will. Is it possible for the will to be altered?
Once it has been signed and witnessed, it cannot be altered. So that witnessing is so important. That witnessing is so important. You know,
so you see, one thing you need to also appreciate it, and that's why please let them ask all their questions. Okay.
Then you can talk about that one later.
Yes.
The last, sorry, this is the last question.
Malachi.
Resume last question.
Good afternoon, everybody. A situation where the witness to the will died before the owner of the will. And
Please let him land.
unfortunately, on their side, they forgot or felt there was no need to look for another witness again and you get the will like that, what happens in that situation?
First of all, this is a birthday boy, yeah? So that's a birthday question. You need to give him a gift.
So it's okay if both. It happens sometimes that the will may have been written in 1970 and everybody is dead. In fact, it's possible that even the people named as beneficiaries are dead. It's possible, but those children will still be alive or something. So what happens? What is advisable to be on the safe side is when you have written the will, has been witnessed, to go and register it at the court, right? To register it at the court, and you pay a fee and so on. However, it is good to also tell people that you have put the will at the court, because if nobody knows, they won't know to go and look at the court. They will be asking themselves, brother, do you know? No. Sister, do you know? No. There was no will. Even though there have been a will, it's in the court, but nobody told anybody that it was there. Another aspect I should raise, which also happens sometimes, is that if, for example, a man writes a will, and for two scenarios, he writes a will to take care of a wife and children. There is now divorce, right? You have to alter your will if you want to remove your ex-wife. Sometimes people forget. I will do it. I will do it. I will do it. I will do it. You will now remarry, right? And you now forget to take care of the new wife, and then the old wife is still on the will. By law, she is entitled to what you left to her, even though you have divorced. So this is an issue. If the marriage is broken down, you have to remember to alter the will. Another aspect is this: if you now marry a second wife or marry again under the Act, you have to write a new will or confirm the previous will. Because if you marry, let's say you marry and then there's a divorce, so the first marriage is now dissolved. You now marry another person under the Act. So let's say in court, right? It's not like it's in court. It's registered in court. The court marriage destroys the previous will. Automatically.
The marriage alone.
The marriage alone destroys the previous will automatically. So you have to write a new will to protect your new wife.
No, but there's something wrong. There's something wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry. What if you can't use the traditional wedding?
No. Let's since you say that new
If it's a
court wedding nullifies the previous will. What if the will you wrote with your first wife was based on property that was jointly purchased by both of you?
So the first wife
and the man, you understand? Because there's joint custodianship involved.
Yes.
You cannot just, by virtue of dissolution of marriage, now will what rightly belongs to the old person.
That is very, very possible, even though we don't encounter it a lot in Nigeria, but it's very, very possible. In fact, in that case, you're right. You can't transfer the whole of that property. You can only transfer your own portion. So, like, let's say two of you. Again, another way, without getting too technical. Let's say you buy a plot of land together. It makes sense to have either evidence that the man contributed to buy the land, or for it to be in both names, so that if there's a quarrel tomorrow and the property is only in her name, you can say that I provided the money, so I have a portion of this property, or look at the certificate is in our joint name. So yeah, I think that's. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you so much.
For the time of taking a round of applause. You can see that our set, we are aspiring billionaires. So we don't have an expensive gift for you, but this is a token of our appreciation. Thank you so much. Now,
we'll invite you again. Thank you so much.
please.
Because anyone wants to come to the
before you go, let me just say this so that I take my comments while all of this, there is a purpose behind it. And the purpose is for us to take proactive action to protect our spouses and our children. How each and every one of us will approach these issues will be dependent on the circumstances of our situation. You raised something, and I will say this because we are majorly Yorubas. Wọ́n ní bá ṣe ń ṣe lọ́dọ̀ tiwa ìwọ òbí yìí. The kind of family inheritance issues you are going to face in your family is different from what I will face in my family. But what we are saying is that we are already in the age of fear. Some of us that came early, we already had our BP monitor measure taken, and certain things have been communicated to us. And I will give you an example. Right now, as I'm standing before you, my BP is high. Now, which also meant that slumping, having a cardiac arrest is not too far for me. So before now, listen. Before you assume that it's an attack from home. People don't solve that time to solve that time. It's a medical reason. Now the question is this: what arrangement have I made for my wife and children? Have I been able to put my house in order? So what I'm doing is that every of the measures, the options that he had mentioned, they all have their strengths and weaknesses. And you will see it in the presentation. He said key features, he said key merits, key disadvantages, upsides, downsides. So if I want to use will, for instance, and I know that the validity of a will can be challenged by those who have been left out in the will. They won't know until the will is read out. They want to challenge the validity of that will. And so if I have taken a position today that I want to protect my spouse and my children by the instrumentality of a will, I need to know and plan for those who will want to do what? Challenge the validity of that will. Now, if I know that I will need to sign certain things after my death, there is a provision to pre-sign certain documents. You pre-sign them before you die. You know, of course, people can still challenge the validity or originality of the signature. And that is why it is not just one option, but a combination of options that you have evaluated with your lawyer and your pastor. Maybe you also, I can take Pastor Amode and say, Pastor Amode, okay, my will is with Ike Yanarifani, and I have 2 executors on that will. That in the primary executor is Mr. Ike Yanarifani. You understand? And the second executor is somebody in the Bible. You understand? So if either of them die, and it's also possible that I survive all of them. You understand? But the key issue is what he raised. So Doctor, you need to take a decision and say, this thing that I'm doing, I want to do it to protect my spouse and my children. So it might be inter-virus gift. Because in inter-virus gift, all I need to do is to execute that deed and don't that property become. So as at the time I was acquiring that property in the so as at the time I know that I want to give it to my wife. So as I'm preparing all the documentation, I am also preparing the deed of gift. So as we perfect the documents, I also give her the deed of gift, which shows the transfer from me to her. Inalienable. Because I know that the purpose for that acquisition is actually to make her to be relatively independent and to be able to take care of ourselves when I die. We've also had the issue of the joint signature. That we need to open that account in our name
And all you do is to begin to put money into that account, knowing fully well that come. And if it's a transaction you are doing, you can nominate accounts to which the people that need to make payments should pay into. And since you know that you are putting down funds for our survival, for our upliftment, and that of the children, you can always do that. So we are saying there is no one card fits all situations. The one that you want to adopt, let us explore it with your lawyers, with people that you can trust their business judgment or other judgment, and you know what works for you. But the point I'm making is that we are already over 40. So we are in a period where we must plan for the eventualities. Anything can happen. People that are not as old as us, some of them are passed away. As we woke up this morning, some people are passed on. And we are not better than them. So I just feel that it's always important to be proactive, plan to take care of eventualities. We cannot spend all the time, ladies and gentlemen, playing. We need to plan. Because it won't be nice to see any of our children that we love so much become destitute by reason of our lack of plan. Thank you so much. So, you can stand down. Thank you very much. So please, we need to quickly go into the business of the day, which is our February meeting. I've read out the agenda before. Are we okay with the agenda? Oh, okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Can you introduce?
Good afternoon, everybody. We have seated there our Rival Oboy and Chairman of Lagos Branch of GCIOB, Professor He volunteered to come around to come and give us a little talk about why it is needed for all of us to. Don't let me even. So you want to leave us now? So just let him.
Well, distinguished old boys, it's my pleasure, honor, and privilege to be in your midst this afternoon. I'm also very happy to see all of you, even though I said you are all above 40. The looks I'm seeing is that of ignorance and events.
Old school!
I have taught in the army before coming here, and I know how young and vibrant men look. I think with all sense of responsibility and without flattery, you still look like that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank God for His grace and mercies over all of us. Well, I will be very brief. Yinka has been a very worthy ambassador of your sex. Not only is he very active, he's one of the moving forces sustaining the branch's secretariat.
Wow.
So I want to appreciate him before all of you and on behalf of the branch. It's also gratifying to know that all sects are doing the type of things you are doing, not only to meet and reminisce for old time's sake, but a social support group for members. So many branches have taken over the responsibility of the spouses and children of their deceased classmates. They have come to the assistance of those who are in distress, especially who have health challenges. And they have also not forgotten our alma mater. They have gone to put in some useful things. Some branches have renovated classrooms. Some have put in place toilets, and so many other projects. If you go there, you will be proud that even though by forces beyond our control, the school has depreciated and declined, we are trying our best individually and collectively to make sure that the school of our pride is restored to its own pride and elegance. So put your hands together for all of you. However, one worrisome thing we have been noticing at the branch is that there are individual vibrant members who come to attend branch meetings and branch functions, but very few others. Take for example, in Yinka's case, very few of you come to support him at the branch level. And it's not only yourself, it's a general malady which we have noticed. And a tree consists not only of its root, but its stem, branches, and leaves. Okay? The branch is a tree that only has roots with this strength. The leaves and the branches cannot be seen. And what are the leaves and the branches of the branch? It's you and me. So as you are showing great concern and activism at your class set, the branch will be very gratified if you can make it a point of duty. We know you are doing what you should do for the school and for yourself, but you are a very important component of the branch. I see you too, and I see Nika. But apart from that, most of the faces I'm seeing here are new to me. I want us to know more intimately, so that if I see you, just as I can call Nika, call Steve Yinka, I also Yinka, just as I can call the two Yinkas, I should be able to call Arugulu and Kule, every other man from Inani. I should be able to do that. That's the sort of the sort. So my purpose of being here is to say that we appreciate what you are doing at your class set level, but I will be very grateful if you can extend this magnanimity and commitment to the branch. So let's see more of you at the branch. I have the university with the apology to that Bob Yoruba no committee. To that. I'm privileged and fortunate that in the context of secondary school attendance, Obritolo committee, in that I did my O-level in the school before coming to GCI for my higher school certificate. I can say the commitment you show to school. I've not seen two schools that can demonstrate that commitment, that love, and that concern as GCIOB. What you do when you see a GCIOB is as if you are seeing your brother. And the way they think of the school, the way they agonize, and the way they express their zeal and enthusiasm for the restoration of the school will make you very proud of GCI, no matter what it is. And as I speak of UNILAG as admirers, delight, and envy of our peers, GCI is more than an admirers, delight, and envy of our peers. So please, when we look back, when Inca looks forward, when the two Incas look sideways, forward and backward, let them know that they have business. So I look forward to meeting you more and more at the branch level and to interacting with you. And I'm sure with your support and cooperation, we'll take the branch to a very high level, and also the school will in due course be restored to what it used to be. You are aware we have established a GCI foundation, and there is a drive to raise a seed money which will be set aside to start the restoration of the school. It's surely a cause, but let us know that you are with us. We know by your activities, but we want to know by your presence. At every branch meeting, we hardly record above 50. And it's because of this apathy and indifference from the classes that attendance in that modest. You're staying away. It's like a man who sees a beautiful girl and is winking at her in the dark. The girl will not be able to know.
Can you repeat that?
You are all married men. Yeah, you are all married men. But when you are younger and you are this, if you saw a beautiful girl and you winked at her in the dark, she will not see you.
Exactly, sir. Exactly.
To know that you are marrying her and you are doing all this and you can know the consequence of that. We know you are doing much for GCI, but extend this to your attendance and grant meetings. And I hope by the next one, which is likely to be in this same venue, I look forward to seeing more of you.
No problem.
I thank you, and I must commend you, even though I did not hear the details of the lecture that has been given. I want to believe it's of will and the need to plan for the hereafter. The challenges of intestacy are not a lawyer, but when somebody dies without a will, they say he has died intestate. And so, your property, your belongings are at the mercy of so many forces that you cannot anticipate. First of all, you go and get a letter of administration. And that necessarily takes years, and at the end you forfeit a significant part of your property to the state. Before that, family members, thank God we are on the western side of the country. In the other part of the country, it's not a funny affair at all. They just drive away the family, and then members of the extended family take over the control of the property. And so you see a drastic change in the fortunes of people who have been used to living luxurious life before becoming destitute. So, like what you are doing at your branch, we also at every meeting discuss topical issues. But I'm particularly touched that you are doing this, and I hope you continue and practicalize this in your personal behavior. Once again, let me thank you for giving me the opportunity to go and talk to you and lead you on notice, and to commend you both for your commitment to yourself and the anticipated promise that henceforth you will be more present in branch meetings and activities. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Only Thank you so much, sir. So on behalf of my executive and Senate members, we would like to present you this. You may not have known everything that we have done in GCI, but we've collated all of those things here. But before you go, there was a testimony that quickly arose when I came in here this month, which I think will benefit a lot of us if I share it. So as I walked to the portal, and I said, look, we need access to the seminar room. The man said, Latigo, ọ̀rẹ́ mi lóhun ti fún mi ní letter of approval. Only is that for Professor Akinyele? Àwọn náà, ó ní bàbá ni. Yeah, and he dropped whatever he was doing. Now, I asked myself, did he do that just because Professor Akinyele is a professor of this campus? I don't think so. Because the way Toby saw, Baba ni. So it showed that this goes beyond the difference, goes beyond the fact that you are a senior person within the institution. And I'm saying to all of us, ìwà ó ṣe pàtàkì ní gbogbo ibi tá a bá wà, kì í ṣe ipò tá a wà. Ipò yẹn a máa fi sílẹ̀. But nígbà tá a wà níbẹ̀, irú wà kò là ń hù. Wọ́n ní kò sí ohun tí ò tán bí ó ṣọlá Ọlọ́run àti wọ́n tí èèyàn bá fi ìwà ẹ̀ ṣe. Tó bàbá ẹ máa ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe. Thank you so much. So the feedback to was exploited. At what point? Okay, I have Alan Ecker on the phone. He has been on the call. He wants to greet you. So this is greeting from New Jersey.
Hello, we are greeting you.
We are greeting you. What's there, you know? No problem, the pictures will come. They just want to hear your voice, and we appreciate.
Yinka has been doing the job of the paparazzi.
Yes, so we appreciate the fact that you're calling in, and we have actually put the phone on the microphone just briefly. So thank you very much. Everybody is meeting you back. And okay, so we will continue the meeting now.
Just stay online.
Okay? Okay, no problem. Cheers.
So, do we have, are we all okay with the agenda? And we can take apologies for today's meeting. Okay, can we take down the names of those who apologize? Hold on, we are not using a transcriber. Tunde Saro. B. Baju also sent in apologies. Lege Adio and Muyiwo Ladapo sent in the apologies. Pollution Fagbejo Muyiwo Ladapo sent in apologies. Lege Adio sent in apologies. Pollution Fagbejo sent in apologies. Or his apologies lapsed. Because he's here.
He made it.
They have not completed that format. So, are we good to go on the agenda? Any proposed modification to the agenda, or we should just take it as we are going? Okay, we should move on. So,
Let's just review the agenda.
okay.
Let's
Okay. Let me see. Okay, so item 1 on our agenda we dealt with it, which is the business presentation of the wills. Then item 2 is review of minutes of November 2016 and January 2017. We have the minutes of January 2017 here, so we can pick on from there. Item 3, matters arising from 2017 minutes. Updates of entrepreneurship committee report. That's item 4. Item 5, updates on our family weekend. Item 6 is update of group life policy. Item 7 is update on UK reunion. Item 8 is Mr. Olajide's retirement event, 4th March 2017. Item 9 will be appreciation of our hosts and remarks. Now, has the food arrived?
No, I think they are making it.
Okay. We said?
The drinks.
Okay. So, that is what we have on the agenda. So I guess we can start with item 2, which is review of the minutes that is available. So permit me on behalf of my Secretary General to quickly read through these minutes. It would have been nice for us to take it as read, but I would skip some of the stuff. So this is the minutes of meeting of Saturday 21 January 2017 in Ibadan. 23 people were in attendance and we had 4 apologies. Opening prayer was read by Apostle Yinka, and the next thing was to
We said, okay, minutes were not read and the minutes were not available for November meeting. The GenSec has not been able to finalize the minutes of the November 2016 meeting owing to a regrettable loss of his mother. The December meeting was a celebratory party and no minutes are required. Special mention, Mr. Alaneka from New Jersey joined the meeting online at 1:15 p.m. Said chairman's year in review address was read to the whole house present in person of Mr. Olusegun Arowolo between 1:17 p.m. and 1:28 p.m. So it was 11 minutes. He promised to share the text of the address on all the six communication platforms, and that has been done. Response to chairman's address, Mr. Olabi Olagaju inquired about audit review for the period ended December 2016, being one of the platforms on which the said chairman campaigned and was voted for. Mr. Adekunle Aziz reported similar concern from Mr. Dayo Oyedele UK regarding the financial position of the association, especially the non-publication of final contribution list and reconciliation statement of the anniversary project. Mr. Aziz was of the view that such publication could encourage others who may be hesitant to contribute or identify with the association to come out of their shell and make contributions. The said chairman informed the meeting that there will be preliminary discussions on the preparation of the program. I think we should take that as read. On the selection of an auditor, Aposulika Debuye asked if an auditor has been sought in-house before advocating for external service providers. The chairman explained that based on the business contact database launched in the other part of the ESCO tenure, there was none of our classmates who indicated himself to be practicing auditor. So, Mr. Arola should also just yesterday that we should look into the larger GCLB for the appointment or selection of an auditor. Both Mr. Adekunle and Mr. Daramola disagree with that suggestion on the basis that our true financial position should be protected from third-party information. But both concord that, okay, the chairman replied that all of these concerns will be considered by the EXCO and appropriate decision will be made. Mr. Alaneka reiterated the need for said members to buy into the life insurance policy being discussed on the floor. He spoke of his gainful experience in the United States credited to his insurance. Whilst commending Mr. Wale Damola for hosting the January meeting, he also appealed to members who are here to host any of the said meetings to explore arrangements or opportunities for singular or joint hosting meeting. The entrepreneurship committee gave a report to us. I think it's better to take that as read also because they will give us updates later in the course of our meeting. But there were responses by members to the enterprise committee report which are worth reading out. Mr. Arola should also would like to know why a new business should not benefit from support from the enterprise support fund. And Abusunika explained that this is why the committee will be set up to formulate criteria for accessing the fund and evaluate eligible applications on a case-by-case basis. Where the committee is persuaded that by the conditions of the new business to recommend intervention. Dr. Folusho Babida, in making his contribution, acknowledged the comment by the said chairman that all of us are living in the age of fear. He reiterated that he is afraid because he's already getting tired. He knew how he used to work in the past and how he's working at the moment. Yet he has children to see through school before they become independent. He needs to worry more about his future more than ever before. He therefore appreciated the conversation around annuity investment. He would like to encourage the set to make this work by facilitating an arrangement that enables members to put money together so as to invest big time in safe FGM bonds under a kind of group annuity scheme. He cited the example of someone who made a pool 100 million from a 1 billion naira investment annually. He stressed that such arrangements will assist us to cater for our middle and old age without fear. Engineer Bukola Alabi hammered on making our support account functional or replaced by the logical ideas that were proposed. He however cautioned that any delayed execution might likely take its relevance off the table soonest. He also wanted the set to focus on the structure to implement these ideas and how to sustain these ideas for the present and future. Of course, I gave a response to him. So, responding to Mr. Bukola Alabi, why there were only 3 members who paid for the integrated health policies in August 2016. Mr. Arola should also noted that the way we use unimportant things to crowd out important matters will be responsible for why there was no significant awareness on the integrated group life policy until some champions arose at the beginning of this year. We need to check this and allow visibility for discussions that are aimed at transforming us as a group. He cited the personal example of the choice of school he would have loved his daughter to attend,
but which is not currently affordable for him. He noted that while there is no alternative equivalent public school to consider, he must worry about what happens in 6 years' time when the girl will be ready for university. He said he must ask himself the question, what is the plan? And must have an answer about this before 6 years' time. He also emphasized that the medical aspect of the group life policy must be taken advantage of because no one may be willing to make further ad-hoc contributions for such intervention again. On this point, the chairman reported that the feelers he was getting from the diaspora is that whosoever does not come under this arrangement to obtain cover against the trigger events and eventually suffers any of these fates should be required to be on his own. Mr. Bukola has stressed that the group policy is very, very cheap and there is no reason why all of us should not be covered. And can be cheaper if we get more subscribers. Apostleka wanted to know at what point taking apologies for failure to attend meetings will no longer be acceptable. That is, should there be a threshold for apologies? Mr. Akunle commented on the attitude of lateness and advised members to adhere to time. The meeting was scheduled for 11 a.m., not 1 p.m. This was backed by Mr. B. Olabaju. Mr. Bukola Alabi and Dr. Folusho Fakeja re-emphasized on the need to follow up on the performance of the investment option laid before us. Mr. Bukola Alabi also wanted to know whether and what we give to any member of the set that is having celebrations, and he also expressed concerns on attention to members' welfare generally and whether why the welfare committee was not established. So, Chairman's response, Mr. Oshedaro said that the ECTO exists to serve the association, and members of the association have the right to make observations or provide feedback to or on the ESCO. However, on the issue of regular attendance by ESCO members, it will be possible for all ESCO members to attend all meetings in the year 100%, and members will do well to appreciate this. Mr. Bukola should not emphasize that the association is voluntary and accepting their apologies. Yes, January was also an unusual month with events involving members on consecutive weekends. It could have its toll on anyone. For instance, Inka Chobos had to talk back because of the traffic along Lagos Ibadan Expressway. On the issue of apologies, the chairman stated that subject to a contrary directive by the general meeting, there should be no threshold to apologies. Apologies suggest that the member has interest in attending the meeting or that he has regard for the meeting, but for a reason he will not attend. Such can be contrasted with that of a member who knows the meeting will hold but is indifferent and never sent an apology. On the issue of lateness, the chairman said that the observation by Mr. Akunle is a good one and can only enhance the effective functioning of this association if adhered to by members. We all know when the meeting is scheduled for, why would we not be punctual? On the issue of gifts to celebrants, the chairman noted that the site does not present a gift at the moment. However, individual members do give as they are minded to celebrate. Our tradition as a group is to promote massive attendance at members' events, group, and take home. If there will be a rule change, we will need to decide this as a group, cash or gift, and work out the impact of the cost of such on the cost of the association. On the issue of welfare committee, the chairman noted that one of the reasons why we did not set up a welfare committee could be because we already have a welfare secretary. The issues Mr. Bukola Alabi raised at the June 2016 meeting were considered to be issues to challenge the office of the welfare secretary to act more strongly and visibly. However, we were able to sit with the welfare secretary collectively as EXCO to work out the expectations from this office and enhance the service delivery to the set. There were also factors which prevented us from being able to provide appropriate feedback to him that would have helped him evolve the right approach to that office. Nevertheless, we continue to trust the members to provide us feedback that will enable us to serve the set better. Some members disagree with the chairman and Mr. Shodoton's response on point 1 above by arguing that while the association is voluntary, members of the executive committee contested an election and were voted into offices, and if law members can be around for meetings, so should they. The chairman in his final remarks mentioned that the next meeting will be in Lagos, which is this one, and will be hosted by Mr. Okoye from Australia. This is a very encouraging development following the example of Mr. Alaneka from New Jersey, who hosted the set in August 2016. This decision by Mr. Okoye reinforces the view that our members in the diaspora do not need to be physically present in Nigeria to show their commitment to the set. We expect more of such hosting from the diaspora. Mr. Bukola should also reminded members present to remember to pay up on their group life cover. He emphasized this by citing the case of someone who died suddenly and also used his personal medical history to illustrate the need for us to be vigilant over our health matters. Likewise, Apostleka Alabi and Mr. Bukola Alabi. The chairman also mentioned to be said that Mr. Shola Principal will be having his retirement celebration on Saturday, 4th March 2017. He He encouraged the said members to diarize the date and resolve to attend in significant numbers to honor a worthy man. ESCO will deliberate on the celebratory gift to give him. Closing prayer was rendered by Mr. Aziz Adekunle at 4:22 p.m. The meeting was adjourned. Thank you. So, matters arising from January meeting. I guess some of them are already on the agenda. Could we have Apostle to give us an update on the entrepreneurship committee report? You will recall that one of the things that we okay?
There should be a motion for adoption.
Okay. Who moves to adopt? Do we have any observations on the minutes for corrections and all of those?
Any errors? What is better? Let's see how it's going. Well, no, we can't do that. The speakers are hung on the wall, okay?
No, we have already given the mic.
No, let it open the mic. You said put the phone closer to the speaker so that you can hear what's being said. I can't do that. But no problem. We'll try and take the phone as close to the person speaking as possible so that you're not. I know.
Okay, please.
I know.
In the absence of comments on or orders or whatever on the minutes just read, who is adopting, who is moving the motion? Olori Oko moves. Okay. So who attended? Okay, Wale is moving motion for adoption. Seconded?
Who is seconded?
Okay, who is seconded? Were you there?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay, it's the motion, no problem. So, the minutes of January meeting adopted without any...
Who moved the second motion?
It's why, the bad default. So, so the thing is here. Okay, hold on. Let's quickly get some business done before we begin to talk. Iṣẹ́ ìyanu ni mo sọ. Please, Apostle, I think you need to come to the front and give us an update on the committee report. Now, for those who attended the January meeting, you will remember that we said that the apostle should be invited to the EXCO meeting to come and elaborate on the report that he shared the draft with us at the Ibadan meeting. So this happened, I think last weekend. He was able to, it was immediately after church. So please let us appreciate his sacrifice and commitment. So he was able to come all over from Oba to Victoria Island where the meeting held and shared this report with the EXCO members present. So there was certain feedback to his committee, which I think will constitute the updates he's going to give to the general members right now. So Mr. Apostle, please come forward. So I think also, because he delivered a joint report to the EXCO members. He reported on the enterprise committee. He also reported on the family weekend. And I think he should just take those two items on the agenda together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Vice Chairman. Thank you. The honorable members of GCLB 85 cents. I want to appreciate your all for this privilege to serve. Firstly, I want to announce that since the January meeting, when we came up, the committee I'm representing is consisted of myself, Koledoro Jaye, and Aziz Adekunle. And we have not been able to to have so deep deliberations on this, pending executive approval of this. So we have to get into the expo before we can sit down and discuss further. Like I informed during the last meeting, we're going to set up a credit committee, which is different from this committee looking into enterprise and financial support. This is only the enterprise financial support. Our basic job is to come up with ideas by which we can sustain ourselves presently, mid-term, and then long-term as a group and as individuals. We're looking at ways by which the association can come through for a lot of us. It is okay to give back to GCI, but what am I benefiting from the group? That is the question. So, I don't want to look at a situation where I'll wait until I'm 60 before thinking of benefiting from this group. By then, it might be too late. So, Chairman brought this up, and then he said, look into this. And in November, we had a meeting and the House agreed, and then we looked into it. So I'm going to run through quickly some of the summary of what we have here. Some ideas came up, and the very first thing we agreed on is that we need to train ourselves better. Some of us are not gifted with experience and knowledge. And because we have experience and knowledge, some of us need this experience also. This is a changing time for Nigeria and the whole world. We need to be enterprising. There's no gainsaying it. And if you are aware, if you're over 40, you can hardly find a job that will take you up. So you need to do something on your own. So if we're going to work on our own, what level of skills do we have? And number two, what if those skills are not bringing in money? Where else can we divert to? So we're looking at training in real life and small businesses that can actually sustain families, which is what we suggested earlier. Continuous training. For example, we will look into farming, we will look into animal husbandry or plantation farming, or we can look into trading businesses. Some people have excelled in trading businesses. They can share their ideas with people who are interested. Now, we're not looking at having a blanket training like this one. No. Not everybody wants to listen to the training of bakery when you're not into bakery. You're not interested. But the people that are interested, we're going to get, by the time we agree on all this, we'll send circulars around. People who are interested in animal husbandry are going to cluster together. People who want to do plantation will cluster together. We get an expert in those fields. People who want to produce soap, produce oil, milk and kernel oil, or even make chemicals will also cluster together. So we'll do trainings that will not cost the association a lot of money. It will be next to cheap or next to free. So in-house consultants will be mainly employed who are already doing this and are successful. We'll employ them to do hands-on training, we'll practicalize. And apart from practicalizing, we're also looking at incorporating this in our family weekend. Okay? The family weekend, we expect to have our families and our wives. Some of these women might need to learn how to do some other things. We have a session for workshop in the family weekend, which is part of the continuous training we can benefit from this group. Okay, they can learn how to make simple soap, learn how to make liquid soap, or learn how to do some other things that can give them extra income, as they move on in life. So that's one of the methodologies we're looking at. Number two is we're looking at supportive business intervention. Supportive business intervention. By this scheme is fashioned to support members' business operations and viable plans. So if you have a business in mind, you need to put it on ground first. We need to see it on the paper. So if you're not learned about writing business plans, please contact me. Okay, contact me. If your business is just about starting and you're still young in business and we assess you, you're not like Rico, and we can see you for a cheap amount, but when you can spend a lot of holiday abroad and gross, you will pay something. Okay, so you will have to pay something. Alright, so So we will help you with a business plan, a thorough and comprehensive business plan that will guide you in the best ways to approach your business. That's number one. Business plans are done from regions of 200, 300,000 and above. So you can actually get it as a benefit from GCI 85 cents for free. That's the truth. You can get it for free if you're just starting. And we can actually arrange it. We sit down, we do all the paperwork together, venue, location, financing, packaging, and then we'll put it together. Then you can present this plan to a sponsor or a value enterprise manager who can invest in your business plan. Okay, so that's one of the things we want to do. That's a new inclusion, okay, to the supportive business intervention. The next in the scheme of supportive business is that we want to help those who are already running. Oloriyomi is already producing soap, for example. It's already producing chemicals, and some of them we have tried. Since the November meeting, we've been bringing them to meetings. And one of the things I asked my committee folks was that, what if this man, because I queried him, like, how much are you putting in this business? And he mentioned the figure, and I said, what if you had an additional fund, double that amount? Do you have the capacity? He said, of course, he has the capacity. Now the customers he has in Berea market alone, in this market alone, the arrangement has been working. So he needs to satisfy more customers, but he needs more money. Okay, so we're looking at having a pool of fund set up by the group, which is meant solely for supporting small businesses among us. Now, a lot of people are focused on GCI giving back. We do that in October. Now we are saying, look, we'll give back to GCI, but before you can give back to GCI, we need to have the money to give back. Yes, we don't want to reserve the giving back only to people who are fortunate or blessed to have so much, quote unquote. We want everybody to be able to freely give back. If we're saying we're giving 10,000 naira, and you're sufficient, you can give 20, you can give 50, you can give 100. That is when you're sufficient. So when you're not, you have to force the 10,000 out. And that is the situation where we're avoiding. We're looking at a position whereby all our set mates who are involved in this association, mark my words, everyone that is involved with us will be above physiologic level of sustenance. That is the vision. That's just the vision. Honestly, I'm excited about it. I'm viewing it. And I just pray that we can get there. Honestly, above the physiologic level, you're not worried about paying for rent, you're not worried about sustaining home, you're not worried. Yes, that's it. That's the meaning of physiologic sustenance. Okay. In the Maslow's table of hierarchy of needs, the basic one, the lowest one is the physiologic need. Your survival. Where do I live? What do I wear? How do we go to school? What do we eat? So those things, we want it out of our lives. And honestly, it's not by praying, because we pray a lot. But even in church, people still come to you and say, give us money. So it's not by praying. There is a principle for making money. You must sow to reap. Okay, so we're looking at having this pool of fund to help people who are sowing their sweat and sowing their hands, support them. And we're going to get this fund from donations. Now this is not a fund we're going to donate here from our Jews, no. We're going to get it from people who have and who will buy television among us and beyond. We get a pool of fund. And we, of course, because of the funds we're looking at, we might be limited. So we'll have to examine what you're doing, how we can come in, and then give you some moratorium period of about 3 months to 6 months to start paying back. It is not a grant, it's not a free fund, it's a facility, but a flexible one. Okay, so possibly, okay, you're taking 150,000 and you want to run with it for 3 months, and then you decide to pay back in 6 months. Okay? You want to return it in 6 months, so that some other people can benefit, or possibly after 6 months, You can look at it like, okay, your business has grown to 500,000. Can we impute another 250,000? Okay, so we're looking at that. Now, this is to take the place of the cooperative, much proposed cooperative program, which has not been working. If the cooperative was running, we wouldn't need this. But we want to bring this in because that has not been running. So, startup businesses will be purely verified, will help with the business plan, and then we'll see what we can infuse. Existing businesses in small scales will be supported mildly and then also monitored so that they can be profitable. The intervention is going to be done with due diligence. Now we're going to have a credit committee that will work because whenever it comes to money, the moment you give money out, the risk of it returning is very low. So when you give any amount of money out, either in loan or in gift, you can be sure that it might not come back. So if it comes back, thank God. Now we're looking at how to make this money come back. So if we're giving it out, we want to make sure they put it in the business, no matter how much or little, and then make it profitable. So we'll have to organize ourselves so that we can follow up properly. The thought we have here is on the group investment plans. When I discussed this with the executive last week, they actually made an observation to the group investment plan. The group plans are divided into two. We're looking at immediate plan to medium plan. Now, please get me right. For the immediate plan, we're looking at investing now for profitability, but on a big scale. If 10 of us if each of us want to invest 100,000, for example, there's a minimum amount that you can give in before you can buy treasury bills. And treasury bills presently carries the highest interest rates in the country. But when you are taking a particular minimum, let's say we pull funds together and we have a particular minimum, you can get more interest from the investments. So we're looking at having a now to medium plan of members of a FISET pulling money together substantially with an organized arrangement, signed, sealed, and delivered, such that we pull it together and then we invest together. Treasury bills are bills that mature as per time. Okay, you can't just say, okay, I want to break it now. No, there's a maturity time. It's like a deposit. Okay? So if we're going to say 3 months or 6 months, we're looking at you investing this money and getting back your return in 6 months or in 1 year. We have the federal government bonds. We're looking at sure investments that cannot run back. Those are the only investments that can run back. The bonds of the government, either state or federal, treasury bills, and for now, commercial papers, maybe bankers' acceptance. Okay, those are not very high interest, but medium interest, but they are sure. So we're looking at having such plan. Solution Family actually suggested that we should do more of either treasury bills of FGN bonds. That he had a friend who did FGN bonds and is making 100 million or 10 million every month. 100 million. Yeah. Yes, he said every month. Yes, he said he's making 100 million. He's making 100 million every period, maybe not every month.
Every month. Must be every month. 10% of 1
period, no, you can't.
Every period. Every period.
Yeah.
For what?
You can't
For the bond invested in.
No, it's every 6 months.
Period.
You get half, 50% of what is declared. Meaning that if it's a 16% interest yield on the bond, you get 8% every 6 months.
Yeah, that's if it's a 6-month bond.
No, not the 6-month bond. Any bond you buy, you are paid twice your dividend every year.
Okay, twice every year.
Twice every year.
They piecemeal it in 2.
Yes.
Right. You know, and the bonds thing, the good thing about them is they cannot default because the federal government is the best borrower that you can find. So we're looking at having some muscle people among us pull money together and run for these things. And if you don't have so much muscles, you can find your way there. The interest will also be prorated. Okay, it will be prorated. According as you pay is how you receive. The chairman is pointing at me, my time is running. The group annuity plan is the second one. Now, the thing about the group annuity plan is that when looking at a position where GCI 85 says members, committed members can earn pension after retirement, be paid from the purse of the association. Now, this is not something that has ever existed in the history of GCI OBA or any kind of OBA I've seen. So it's a new idea. Now, what it means is we have to start saving now. Once we agree on this, we set the logistics in order. We have to start saving a particular amount of money every month or every 3 months or every 6 months so that we can invest this money. It's a forever money because the minimum we can get to is about 16, 17 years. We're looking at 60 years. Okay, so until you get to 60, you cannot get from that money. It's like saving for your pensions. Okay, we save a particular amount of money that you have now, which we don't just leave in a current account. Because it's a pool, we have money coming in together. We could put it in commercial papers or BA or even treasury bills as the case may be. So the money keeps generating compound interest. Now, because we're looking at annuity, it's not just going to generate compound interest annually, it's going to generate it over the years and becomes an annuity investment. So by the time you get to 60, a particular amount will be paid according as you have saved. So your money is going to be calculated as to how much you have saved, and then pension will come to you possibly every 3 months or every 6 months. How would you like to sit in your house? You're not hungry, you're not broke, and then January, pension from GCI OBA, 50,000 or 100,000 just comes in. Wow, okay. And June, you get another one, 100,000 from GCI OBA. That's like money you are not depending on, but an extra source of income. And and for some people, by then it might be even a saving grace for some people at that time. Okay? And we pray that should be able to run until maybe 80 or even later. So we plan it such that it will run till death. Do you understand? So when it's not paid from 20, it will be prorated. And remember, whatever you have at balance will continue to be invested and earning compound interest until the time expires. Okay, so that's about the last one on the group investment plan. And number 4 we just have is just to have a cluster. We're going to do a statistics. We will send questionnaires around. We want to know what everybody does, to the details. You build. You also supply raw materials.
We already have that, unless the people that are here do not have their name on that database.
No. What I mean is, what you have on my database is just consultant trainer. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I do a lot more than that. I'm a physiotherapist. I'm a trainer. What do I train in? We want to have more details. What kind of consulting am I into?
So what I'm saying,
I'm ahead.
That's a starting point.
Yeah, people will develop it.
So based on what we have, we can cluster someone. Somebody will say, I shouldn't belong to this cluster. Okay, that's what I'm saying. It's a starting point, so it helps.
Yeah, so we want to build on what is already started. You understand? So that anybody that is into agriculture and into animal husbandry, you are into plants, you want to delve into a particular area, we can cluster you together. You are into training consulting, we can cluster you. Engineering, building, you can put them together. So when somebody needs someone to help them, maybe you need somebody to supply you this and that, you can just look for a number in the GCI bracket. So that's just, let's say, segmentization of our professionality. Because sometimes you don't know that what you need is in-house. You're looking for it outside. Meanwhile, your mate needs business. Do you understand? So that's the last one we have here. So that's just for cluster business and putting people together. So that's about the plans we have, and that's the updates. The ESCO said something about the group investment plan. They said, can we extend the investment plan, the medium one, to people outside the set, so that the more money we have, the more interest we can get, for example. And we said, well, it is possible, but we need to look at the logistics well. We have to look at how it works before we start expanding outside our shores. That's about it for the investment plan.
ESCO also mentioned that we should pick 2 of these ideas as pilot. So and we have left it to the committee to decide which one they want to start with first. I think that's part of the feedback from the executive.
Thank you. So about the one we want to start with first, one of them is the training part. We want to be involved in training about specific areas, especially of entrepreneurship. Okay, specific areas of entrepreneurship. And then number 2, we will desire to start with, to also do investments. Okay, so for medium investment or annuity investments. So those are the 2 that were selected that we can put flesh
to. Your committee now is to work out the modalities for how the 2 years will be implemented or implementable, like we said. So we will be expecting those other materials.
Okay, so we might be calling on some of us to help with details. Okay, and like you said about database, we're going to send questionnaires around so we can know who is doing it, how long you have been doing it. So you might be a facilitator, or you are interested in learning something. We'll also want to know if we can provide it, and the training can be in progress latest by the time we go for family retreat.
Update of family weekend so that we can.
Okay.
Any
question? Yes.
No, let him finish so that I can take your question.
Why don't we take it? Finance separate, family separate. Yes.
Okay. Let him have the mic, please. Hold on. Can you let him have the mic?
Well, basically, my question is on what Apostle mentioned, talking about the leverage. Ideally, in any setup where you belong to a group of people, the first thing you look at is what are the leverages that can really get from people. And I appreciate that for that kind of initiative. But I just want to ask, is there any legal backup when it comes to, because there are some people in life, either you go fair or poor, and one bank not getting money. Forget it. I'm sorry to say that in your way, but it's the idea of life. So what I'm saying is that as the issue of giving money to people for business, for this and that, is there any legal backup to say once you are giving this money, you must pay back? But one can say, okay, I take your money and I'm not going to pay, but somebody can pay about it.
I think he's talking about the risk assessment.
Exactly.
You understand the exposure, penalties. How do you mitigate against somebody if the person?
Thank you. You're talking about loss, okay? The financial side, that's my interpretation. That somebody might decide not to pay is a risk that you cannot mitigate until you try the person first. In business, hold on please.
That's the scenario that.
In business like ours, this is not an established business forum. We're talking of some startups, supporting some startup, supporting some, I'm just doing business. Character is the most important part of all the credit ratings in business. It is the most important. Now, the character of each and every one of us, on face level, we know. But when money exchanges hands, we can't tell what happens. But we want to take some risk right now, assuming that somebody already doesn't have any bad record. Alright? So we can protect ourselves against that risk. The best we can do is to put in measures. For example, they are asking for legal measures. Yes, we'll sign documents with the association. Documents will be signed. I said it earlier. They will be signed, sealed, and delivered. They're not just going to be loaned out. You will sign documents that you collected some money from an association. And before we embark on this, we're going to have some basic financial regulations met before we deal with money. Do you understand? So we'll have some backup. Inka wants to say something.
I think what he's trying to say is, what are we going to do? Not fail alone, so that they will fail.
Exactly.
Shey, you understand? Something like Ofeyawo, Ekobo, Omo Ipe to mo wa sanwó ìkànbá ìlú máa ṣẹlẹ̀. That's very something.
I think we have an answer to that.
Guys, no. But one other thing is, just like banks do, when they want to loan you money, they will rather be the ones, let's say you are trading, for example, they will not give you the cash to do the trade. They will buy the goods in their name on your behalf, so that they have assets that they, yes, they have assets that they can use.
That's a good idea.
To track it.
That's a good idea.
That's a good one for structured business.
Yes.
Honestly, for structured businesses that you can monitor. But in a business like this,
You see, I appreciate the questions and the concerns that were raised. In his presentation, he has talked about a committee that will look into the modalities for how this, before we ratify or adopt any of the mechanics, he will present it to us. Where we think some of these things are not watertight enough. Because don't forget that the pool of funds will come from well-meaning members who are donating to make sure that, look, we can help each other. And the more we can help each other, the better for our future. So that we don't, there are leverages. I think he mentioned some leverages. Some people, their leverage is political appointment. When will it come? To move from known to the unknown. We need to move from the regular to the regular. So it is better, the future, the only future you can predict is the future you create for yourself. And we need to always have this at the back of our mind. So if you are saying you want something to happen in 2030, it is about what you are sowing. It is about the actions you are taking, decisions you are taking, choices you are making today towards the realization of that day by 2030 that will determine whether or not you are going to invest that by 2030. But of course, it will also mean that in the course of the period between now and 2030, you can suddenly become a governor. Exactly. And in the course of that, there are certain benefits that we also accrue to. But that is not a sustainable kind of gamble. So that I think we should leave the work for your committee to come out with the modalities of how this thing will work. If they are not watertight enough, we can always as members, because it's for us, make sure that we make those suggestions and see what we can do. Let's move to the family meeting.
Thank you, Mr. President. As we can see.
Please, gentlemen, I don't want that food to get cold, because if it gets cold, it will be a disservice to Mr. Oyelade, who funded today's provision. So I will ask that in 5 minutes, let us just rinse our hands in the bathroom there, so that they can serve us this thing hot and spicy. Please. Thank you. Please, let's just take a break. Please, we have an interview.
Yeah, you can if you want.
Sorry.
No problem.
Yeah, let us eat. The lecture will continue while we're eating. So please don't get distracted by the food. Sorry, Mr. Depi. Hello guys, there's something we missed. Hold on, there's something we missed. I don't know when you are taking BP.
There was something.
No, but are they going to eat before before? I mean, test or
I can talk about it.
when are we going to greet? So guys, 5 minutes, hello, 5 minutes time. It's 10 minutes, it's 10 minutes, no, not 5 minutes to finish your food now. I'm not telling you to finish your food, hold on. 5 minutes time, Mr. Apostle Ikadiwe will come back to the floor and continue program. That's what I'm saying. Not stopping. No, I mean, Kiram, I know that. If we're settled down, 5 minutes is just around the corner. This is 10 minutes after 2 o'clock by 2:15. If you're looking at anybody, if you're seated and somebody came in and you haven't said to him, please do that now. Take the opportunity. We don't want to disrupt the hall or the environment when our speaker comes back to take the floor. Thank you. You'll be allowed to eat, drink, but volume low.
Torí kó má lọ jẹ́ pé bàbá kò sí ọ̀rá nìkan lá.
Ó bá wà lọ.
Ó ti di àwọn ìsìn ìdáná Nàìjíríà tó lù wà. Yes, na that's good.
It's true now, I carry goals.
No, we just want to eat and then we continue.
Those who don't take the game, don't want to know yet.
We're not done.
Ah, I'm like,
What did you sort of like? What's up, like, do it?
Ó ti sùn lọ nínú wa yẹn.
What is love?
Mo ní yé ẹ wo dọ̀tún. Bí mo ṣe mọ́jú.
No, I don't know topic here. I just love.
ó wá pẹ̀lú thanks for being there lánàá.
That is of it. God is able.
Ó ti sọ fún náà rẹ̀.
Tí bá lọ pé mo wá bẹ̀rù kò ní bínú ìbò.
Are you ready for the lecture?
No, not problem.
Kí ló dé? Concentration yẹn púpọ̀. Ẹ ti lè fi gbọ́ràn náà.
Alaneka is here. Who wants to talk to Alan?
Nígbà tí o sẹ́ni nǹkan tó dáa
Ló fẹ́ jẹun. Ló fẹ́ jẹun. Bèbè ló fẹ́ jẹun. Ló fẹ́ jẹun.
Wọ́n ní láì dáhùn wá wàhálà.
Ìgbà tí o rẹ̀ ní dáa ló ná lò pọ̀ lẹ́nu lọ́mọ bá kò tó àdóńdó.
Everybody, even pastor Amole is okay, you speak Oyi now, Oyi.
Yes, Oyi sọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ yìí.
We don't follow this guy.
Okay, thank you very much for eating this Omuyan as a chairman of the college. Participate in the Omuyan provided by Mr. Oyilade and family. All the way from Australia. Not very far from here.
Where is the kangaroo?
Okay, so for family weekend, the chairman said to speak about the family retreat, family weekend. Now we drew a couple of programs which I expect that we will still put some additions to. The first one is that we intend to have the program according to specification between Friday evening and Saturday night. So if we're starting Friday evening, we're looking at arrival anytime from 4-5 o'clock on Friday. So the hotel where we'll be lodging will be open. We'll have our banner at the reception, and any of us coming in will, of course, have reservations waiting for them. So we'll just check in at the hotel by 5-6 o'clock thereabout. That's arrival of delegates Friday evening. The next on the program is when we all gather, say 8 o'clock. We are yet to put time to these things based on a number of reasons. Say 8 o'clock, we'll have an opening session where the session will be formally opened and will be introduced one to another. Families will meet themselves. The wives and the various, what do you call them, princesses and queens that will be hiding. Please bring them out, let us know them, and let them know ours too. The whole idea of the family weekend is to interact and not just us mingle, but our families to mingle. Let's know our children. The said chairman at the time said he wouldn't want a situation whereby some of us will be lecturers in the school where some of us have children, and then the day you find out that your daughter is talking about one professor, or maybe somebody is sharing some picture on WhatsApp, Freaky Friday or Freaky Sunday, it now happens to be one of our daughters. Okay, we don't want that kind of intermixing. So let's get to know ourselves first. So let's get to know ourselves first. And so we come with our children, we come with our wives, and we blend together, mix up, and let the women also put faces to our friends. Some of them are afraid when you're going for boys meeting. They think the boys are going to hook you up, especially when you go for reunions and you go for 2 or 3 days. Some of them are really scared. What are the boys doing in the battle? You know, but when they see the boys that we're meeting with and their wives too, they know we're responsible people, and then we can foster a relationship of immense value. So we'll get to meet together and know ourselves, after which we'll have a dinner. We'll have a dinner after the meeting, and then we'll have the first night, we'll have the first campfire night. That's the first night. We'll start a series of talent hunts, especially for our children, dancing competitions, singing competitions. And, that will happen on the first night. We'll get to introduce them to a talent hunt. Of course, we'll put some prizes to make it a little bit competitive, and we'll expect them to perform, so we'll enjoy ourselves. Battery is failing here, please. Where's the Baba? Give us battery. Okay, so on Saturday we intend to have Saturday early morning exercises. Early morning roadworks exercises. So we expect that as soon as we wake up on Saturday, we'll go for roadworks.
Ma, but why do you?
Okay, so we're going to roadwork exercises, gym exercises, blend together on the field. We do that for about 1 hour or 1.5 hours, and then we go for personal breakfast. Okay, we expect that everybody will take care of their family's breakfast. Alright, we expect we'll take care of your family. We're looking at what's a light breakfast? Bread sandwiches. We don't even need more because we'll soon have lunch at 12. We'll have a general lunch at 12. So you just need something light for breakfast. Because immediately after breakfast, we're coming out of outdoor games and excursion. So right after breakfast, we assemble for excursion or outdoor games, depending on where we're lodging. Now, we'll be lodging at some hotels. We're looking at visiting the IIT or the University of Ibadan Zoological Center as excursion for our family weekend. Okay, so we'll get vehicles that will convey us there, and when we're done with the excursion, we'll return together and do more outdoor games. Now the outdoor games are going to be well structured as well. We're going to have female competition, men-women competition. We're going to play football. We're going to play all kinds of games. And we'll also have some mind and team building games. We'll also have inter-family competitions. Okay, we'll do inter-family competition later in the day. Your family will do a dance-off. Come and register for dance-off competition. I'm sure some people are wondering what's going to happen. Still look at this family beating everybody to dancing. Or Lorioko leading the dance school of the Daria Ladiku. We'll have those competitions and bonding activities later in the day. And as the day wears out, we have dinner together. Lunch and dinner is factored in. So we'll have dinner together in the evening, and immediately after dinner, we resume evening activities. The karaoke will continue. We'll have karaoke, we'll have singing competition, we'll have dancing competition, not only for the children now, and then when the children have time off, we'll set them time, say by 9 p.m. When it's time for bed, we send the kids away, and between that time, when we want to go to sleep, we'll do couples only. Okay, couples only. We'll dance. You love your wife. Sit nice next to your wife. Have a romantic evening together before you go to bed. One of the seminars we're going to have in the afternoon is also about marital issues. We intend having marital seminars.
One is what is regular.
Okay, so we'll have seminars, couple seminars, women seminars, men seminars. We'll have some of those in the afternoon. After the romantic evening, everybody can go to bed. And you can travel that night if you can make it by 12, or you may travel first thing in the morning of Sunday. So we can actually return home. For some of us who are going to church, and it's advisable to bring your Sunday clothes along with you, so you can just dress from there and travel straight to church. That's what I did during the reunion. I left there 5:30. I went straight to church. It was a lovely day. Okay, praise the Lord. Okay, so this is not a church. When you mention church, I switched to praise the Lord mode. But let's praise the Lord. Okay, so we're looking at financially. Okay, can we have the attention of people outside, please? Financial implications of this family weekend. Yes, sir.
Àwọn tó ti yó lẹ́yìn. Àwọn tó ti yó lẹ́yìn. Àwọn dọ̀tí tó ti yó lẹ́yìn. Ẹ máa bọ̀ wájú. Kí ló dé? I'm going to allow it. People are still traveling.
Okay, please, let's come together so we can finish, okay, early. Thank you. Now, for financial implication, we estimate that we are taking hotel rooms, hotel accommodations between 7,000 naira and, let's start with we're looking at,
One is even more louder.
we're looking at hotel accommodation from 7,000 to 15,000. Now, with a lot of thanks to Atete Daye and my able chairman, we were able to survey some hotels in Ibadan apart from IIT, because we started with IIT in mind. The chairman wanted something dignified, befitting us. But IIT's cost right now is in the minimum of 31,000 a night. Okay, and that is on the high side, considering that there's recession in the land and we have to do liquidity planning. Okay, so we got options. We got a hotel that has rooms from 7,000, 9,000, 12,000, 15,000. So whichever you want to take for your family, either you come in on Friday night. For some of us who are traveling from Lagos, it's advisable to come in Friday evening. Just know that you're coming in for this retreat, this weekend. It's going to cost, let's say you're taking a room for 7,000 a night. For 2 nights, that's 14,000 naira. The whole cost of the program, which we estimate here, okay, per person, per family, is about 7,000 naira for the logistics, feeding, and the travels we need to do. It's about 7,000 naira right now, plus accommodation, which is 14, that's 21,000 naira. I think that is cheap, really, if you have to take your family out for 2 nights, and you're sleeping in a hotel room that is well air conditioned, maybe not 2 stars or 3 stars, but they have a star somewhere. There should be some star or something. Okay.
How big is the bed?
Oh well, that will depend on your money. Okay, you pay more, you get the bigger bed. You can add the extension.
When you have family.
Yes. No, really, for a family of 4 or 5, it's advisable you look at the 10,000 a night. And if you can't afford to take 2 nights, you can take 1 night. Just that you miss the Friday night event. There will be Friday night karaoke as well as competitions. So it's going to be, the event is going to be effective when we all come together on Friday. If we can make it on Friday, it will be effective. There was a time we were all single, but now we're many people with us. Alright, so we have people with us now. So we bring these people together, we all enjoy ourselves. So it's going to be at a cost of 7,000 a night, about 21,000 per person. At 10,000 a night, it will be per family, it will be about 27,000. Conservatively, looking at 400 naira a meal. Okay, for a family of 4, okay, that's 400 by 4, that's 1,600, and we're serving 3 meals. Okay, so that's about 40 what now? 4,800. 4,200. So 4,200 added plus about 2,500 of transport in town. It's about 7,000 naira. So we're looking at very conservative amounts. So for those, some people ask if they could stay and come from home from Ibadan. Yes, you can come from home from Ibadan, but it will not be effective enough. So I will suggest that since we have about 5 months, because the executive is looking at, say, somewhere July for this program, because July will be end of session for most people and children. July will also be end of session for some universities. If we're looking at July from here, we have about 5 months from here. If we're going to save 25,000 in 5 months, that's 5,000 a month. Now we're going to make the deadline for funds for the retreat 2 months before the date, so we can book the hotel. We intend to just take over whatever hotel we're using. The hotel has a poolside where we can do our dancing competition, karaoke, and things like that. They have a lawn tennis court. They have courts we can use for exercises as well. So we've been doing a lot of research on this thing, and we're trying to look for the best and the cheapest that we can afford. But what we need mainly is for people to buy into this program. If we buy into this program and we squeeze ourselves, we can actually save 5 a month for what looks like a vacation. A lot of us don't do vacation again. That's just the truth. Except you go to Ijebu or you go to Ijesha. That's not vacation. That one is more trouble because you're going to spend money at home.
So there is something we call expression of interest. Suppose, when do you want to begin to take expressions of interest? Is it from this meeting or from the March meeting? Because you need volume for planning. Thank you.
So for the expression of interest, it is open from now if the house agrees, because the expo are in agreement. And I said, we'll have to talk to the house. We discussed it, and if the house thinks it's a viable thing, it will bond us together. The benefits are much. Bond us together, help our family's trust to be built concerning our GCI relationship, and it will also foster more businesses, because if you trust me, you can give me your money or give me your business. So, so expression of interest is open from today. You want to be part of it, please, you might need to start signifying. There's a sheet of paper here, which we'll pass around. We want to be part of it. I told you, if you're taking such a hotel at 7 a night, everything will cost you is about 25 once you land there. And if you start saving 25 from now, last time I went for a vacation was 2008. And I took my family out for a vacation. And I tell you, every year they've been clamoring. So I told them this year we're doing GCI OBA 85 cents retreat. And we'll go on Friday, spend 2 nights, and everybody's like, okay, we're looking forward to it. So,
thank you so much, Apostle.
it's a very good thing if everybody can buy into it. But I don't want it to sound as if you expose forces on us. I think you should take the interest of the people too in mind. You understand? Maybe one or two people we should talk about it, because we're talking somewhere here and less than one of us has two wives.
Bring them.
Do you understand? So that's one of those things that we're
So who's talking about it?
Well, you see, I will only just use that question to encourage us to try and read the minutes of our meetings. This is not a new development. If you look at all the meetings that we've had since this particular expo came up, you can see where we are leading to. Now, we were more forceful about this idea when we realized that the anniversary weekend, people brought, without being prompted, some people brought their whole family. The captain's party, some people came there with their wives and kids.
And friends. Boyfriend
and if you remember, part of the programs that we outlined right from the beginning of this expo was to have a kind of annual couples dinner. We've only remodeled it to say, let it not be just a dinner. Let it be a period where we can be able to bond. Because if it's a dinner, we can bring anybody. But we want to stress the fact that all our programs are to solidify your union. I think the first hosting that Mr. Walida Ramola did, he and his wife even did anko. We saw the dress as she had that day. And it should just show unity. It should show unity and all of those. So for me, I think we have gotten to a level where we cannot be doing things outside our young girls. Let us bring them together. We don't even know the potential that union can signify. Now, if somebody has more than one wife amongst us, hold on now. I said, if somebody has more than one wife amongst us, it is not less. It is not less a GCI 85% member just because he has more than a wife. He knows the dynamics of his home. If he brings three, fine. Because he's responsible for the cost of their stay that weekend. If he introduces them to me, I'm going to celebrate the three of them. Because look, it's not less my member, it's not less my classmate, it's not less my friend, just because he has chosen to have 3 or 4 or 5 wives. Everybody, see, I think friendship is about respecting each other's decisions.
It's not the friendship issue.
Yes,
the president has how many wives?
Yes. So for me,
you don't respect him.
Not the president of this.
No. To clarify, it's
important to stress that I still remain, as of this meeting, the husband of one wife. So, okay, what other questions is that? So what I'm saying is that we have not forced this particular program on any member, and that's why we are even saying, please, expression of interest. It might not be possible, and that's why, we wanted to do it in March before, but we realized that it's too close. Okay, let's extend it to about July, when people can have sufficient opportunity to raise whatever funds that, if they really want to be part of it. But what I will always encourage is that money awo tá a bá ń ṣe tá a bá fi hàn ọmọdé ó máa ń ta, and he has already told us of a particular risk that irú àwọn nísìn ọmọ wọn ti bàlágà ó ti tó ká. You don't want a situation of freakiness.
First wedding, come on.
Ó ti dúró. Àbí tí dó àti bá.
Irọ́ kò sáyè yẹn.
Bishop Wright. Mr. Wale Daramola.
Yes, sir. I want to look at something, because when I sit in this kind of gathering, even outside the gathering, I look at the hawk, the middle, and the lower. I want us to be very, very, in quotes, very, very careful, mindful. In a situation whereby it might be in form of a clique. A clique. In the sense that when some other people cannot afford such thing, money, is there any provision for that? Now, whether we like it or not, we'll be having the nights there. And people from Lagos who cannot afford such money will be coming. Is there any provision for that? Please bear it in mind. I may and I may not be able to meet up with the financial. I'm just talking generally.
You can be an example, anybody can be an example.
Yeah. So we will, in that situation, that is 1A. The view of it is that in everything we are doing, starting from next year, what I'm talking about, let us make sure that we package everything in terms of finance to be able to plan well for the year. If you are to tell me, I will tell you, my wife will tell me, our budget. I'm hearing it now. I will take it home. You understand what I'm talking about?
Financial partner.
Because let me be frank with you, I don't do anything
without her.
Thank you.
You want to?
I want to ask a question.
Let me respond to what you are. Still on the issue of our minutes. This particular program was announced. Last year. It was even part of the budget address of May 2016. So it was already planned, and we knew it was going to enter the second year of our tenure. Listen, hold on. What I'm trying to say is that if people require that information for planning purposes, you understand? After the October anniversary weekend, I still sent out a communication where I identified activities remaining in this tenure. And that was when I mentioned the November meeting, I mentioned the captain's party, I mentioned the fact that you are going to host us in January, and mentioned the family weekend program for March. So if you are talking, when we got to December 2016 at the captain's party, I still mentioned. So where I'm going is that for planning purposes, we had sufficient information to help us plan if we really want to be part of any program under this particular executive. Now, in relation to the issue of click or no click, see, ladies and gentlemen, if we have a good idea that we want to promote, I think we also need to appreciate that when you start, all of us might not be able to participate. This meeting is open to all of us to come, but not every one of us are here.
Not even that. When everybody started,
when everybody
when the thing started.
So my view is that if we believe this family weekend or family retreat is a level to which we can take our association, we will start with those who are able to express positive interest, active interest by putting their money where their mouth is, and trusting that as we make it an annual event, the number of participants are always going to be. When the night of 1,000 lamb, when it started, was it this big? When Ali Baba started his January 1 concert, was it the same in terms of impact and significance as the one of 2017? So we should allow for that level of evolution. In as much as we have not disenfranchised to say, look, if you are not earning up to this level of threshold, don't come. You understand? It's an evaluation. Evaluate your cost, evaluate the event. Do you think it is worth it? If you think it is worth it, I think you should try as much as possible to go for it. Now, if you say whether the association should support, everything depends on the pulse of the association. We are the people. We know how many of us, we know what our dues are. You understand? Everybody knows to what level he has made the contribution in terms of dues. So where will this money come from? And that is why we say that we should, if we show interest, we look at our pulse, we evaluate it. Look, I want to be part of it. I want to be part of it. And I've already put down my name. He has put down his name. Any other person that wants to be part of it should put down their names. Like he said, you need to see the, I don't know how many of us have been to IITA. You understand? The facility is amazing. People go there on their own without a group thing to give their families solid weekend retreat. You know? So, but we realize that even the cost of that particular facility, you understand, on a week, the cheapest is on the weekend, and it's even 15,000 per night. So if you are already talking of to do 2 nights there, you are doing 30,000. The people you are bringing, are they not going to eat? So you are talking of 50,000, 60,000. So we said, look, maybe what we are going to do is to actually shift some of the activities on Saturday to do it there, but not sleep there. Listen, but the other idea is that you need a place where people can feel that there is access to all kinds of facilities that will make sense, that will make it worthwhile to come to those kind of places. Look, if we have the money, and that is why a lot of things we are saying to each other, it becomes very important. I don't know if you have gone to Hotel Omeridian in Akwa Ibom. My brother, it's an hotel and a resort. It's the kind of place that when you say you go outside Nigeria, apart from the fact that you are meeting white men, you understand, it's a place that you can spend a whole month and you will still get the value of traveling abroad. But it's not going to come cheap. It's going to cost money. So there's nothing that stops us if we are all financially able to even go to a polo meeting. It's in at the Uwa meeting that somebody said, why are we still holding some of our meetings even in Nigeria? That we can talk about going to Cotonou for a weekend and do this. It's good. These are brilliant ideas, but we need to know that they are speaking a lot to our future. I see a time when 5 of us, 10 of us will say, we will plan our summer vacation together. Those are the kinds of ideas we should be having, because a time is coming when we won't be able to run around. The next thing is to enjoy. Oh boy, where are you next? I'm in Coventry. Let's go together. And you carry my dad, because all the children would have gone and they are already independent of you now. What are you guys doing your time to do? So these are the kinds of things I need us to begin to cultivate. Let us cultivate the habit of how to enjoy ourselves. We are working so much that we don't enjoy ourselves anymore. So if the group offers a family weekend program, please let us strive to keep it to it. Yeah, for you.
No, before you. No. My question is all directed to you, because I don't know whether I missed something while I was recording. No problem.
It's possible.
No problem.
I remember at the January meeting, we raised some questions about accounts, then the ESCOs not being present at almost every meeting that. Me personally, that's my own personal opinion that I have been attending. I think I started coming since last year, July. And I've observed that the same kind of people I'm seeing continuously. And from where I stand, if you are not doing something, you should not be entirely. If we give you a position to hold, at least you should show more, more is it concern?
No, every office goes with a responsibility.
I mean, we should see you. You should
Commitment.
Leadership show you must lead by example at least. And I've not had to be about those questions being raised in January. How far, and I believe you must have met after that meeting the ESCOs. So the result of those questions that have been raised, I don't think you people have talked about the president, at least we are hearing. So I would like to know the outcome of your meeting about those questions that was raised in the January meeting.
Thank you very much.
Let's finish this. Good afternoon. I think I'll have to go back to the family weekend.
That's what we're on. You're not going back.
Okay, no. Okay. Now, what I would like to suggest is, to some of us, that accommodation might be an issue, just because we're not all equal financially. But what I'm thinking is, it still does not stop you playing your part. I remember in recent years, we've always been staying at hotels, and it's not everybody that will be in that hotel. If you feel you are not financially buoyant to be in that hotel, you can participate. Come for the event till maybe 9 or 10, that you can go back home. You don't have to pay that 25,000. If it's 7,000 that you pay for the 2 days, I think it's fair enough. If we are thinking, so we should just look at that option as well.
No, the option is there. You don't have to stay. It was highlighted. So, I mean, just make yourself available. There's going to be a timetable. And for you to get the full, the full timetable, the real day is the Saturday program. Where there will be segmentation, wives having their programs, the men having their programs, the children also having their programs. So you want to make yourself and your family available to get the full benefit. Because if you are coming, okay, then maybe the thing is starting at 9 a.m. I'm sorry, let's assume.
After breakfast.
If the thing is starting at 9 a.m. and you are bringing your family at around 12:01. You understand? Well, if you still, you understand? But what is important is to make them available.
No, you know why he asked that question?
It's fine.
I know why he said that, because there was this statement you made where if you are not staying in the accommodation, you will miss and you will not enjoy it.
You may not get the full.
No, but let's what he's trying to what he's trying to say now is that why don't you make the program in such a way that even if you're not boarding at the hotel, you still get an optimal effect.
What I'm saying, if the person needs to be around, you see, for instance, arrival is Friday. You understand? Let's say you are unable to, you are not boarding. You understand? So you know that Saturday program, for those who are boarded in the hotel, they would have done all some preliminaries because you have the program. You can see when the real meet is going to start. So if the real meet is starting at 9 a.m.,
let's say 8 o'clock.
The beauty for you of participating is to make your family and yourself available by the time that particular program is starting, so that they can enjoy, the thing from the beginning. Coming midway, for instance, for your wife, maybe they are also talking about the one that Morolayo requested to be part of the program.
Okay.
You understand? And they are just on the last position and for effective marriage. You understand? You won't know the previous 4 or 5 that they have mentioned that can add salt to your union. So all that is the kind of thing we are talking about. If for the children, we are talking of the rigor of Nigeria's education and the quality of it, we don't appreciate it. When we had a chance to discuss with the children of one of my friends that is in my children, when they looked at the programs, the books that those guys were using, they just left them. So is this the one that this one is saying? People are surprised. They were the guy that was taking us round, that investor, the guy was even thinking of, don't you think I should send my children to Nigeria? I'm telling you, the guy was contemplating it because he was alarmed at the level at which my own kids were compared to his own. I was, what kind of rubbish is it? So where I'm going is that, look, the kind of program that they have lined up, or they intend to line up for your kids, they also need to be available. And there is so much value when you see your people of your age mates and you are looking at what is going on. There will be challenged. Everybody will be challenged. If there is one that is able to dance and you can't dance as much as the other one, that day I saw maybe Ayomide is the name of the way the lady was dancing. I think I should also go and begin to learn how to dance and all of those. So these are the kinds of children. They don't have the kind of issues that you have, the kind of things you are aspiring, that's not what they are chasing. So those kind of things also help them, and they will forget each other. You will be amazed at how so many of them are going to exchange numbers, and they will exchange contacts, and they will be, what's happening and all of those. So it's very important. Let us bring them together. So I think we have taken the fact that the family weekend program is something we should go into. And we should work out the relevant modalities of how to make it.
No, but there's something. There's something I wanted to say before you
go come to the front now. You like to sit at the back. You see this they carry over. From this year. Sorry for coming late. No thanks for coming.
You made
for the meal. I enjoyed the meal.
So that I can see you.
In support of concerning the in support of this family program, in support of Oyawale.
One house.
I think the family program.
One house.
Malachi.
Hey.
Please go on.
The family program is a part of the executive agenda for set, and I think it has been on since last year. And I don't see a reason why we need to debate on this now. I think what we should advise the ESCO to do is that they should create an avenue that most of the programs should be day-time program, not the program that will not accommodate people that don't have financial capability to sponsor themselves for the hotel or whatever. And at the same time, if we have a mate that doesn't have much, we can sponsor it. We should not look at the ESCO or from executive using the ESCO money or the transit money. So you can, within ourselves, my friend, I can sponsor you for a day, night, like 2 persons, I'll pay for 2 persons accommodation. We can do that one within ourselves.
Yeah.
I think that would be.
Who is who is answering my question? You are coming to my
So I think that's good. So please, let's
I would like to respond.
Hey, one now, Malachi.
AOB, yes, sir. I'd like to take that issue under AOB. The question that Mr. Aziz Adekunle has raised, I will take it under AOB.
Okay.
But the work of your committee is not yet finished. No.
We are still on it.
Because we are going to be in Osogbo by March 2017. The next host of our meeting. The next host of our meeting is Dr. Ketu Fagbeja, and he's hosting us in Osogbo. So when we get to Osogbo, we will still be taken to task on how far the progress we have made between this meeting and the next meeting. Thank you so much. The next item on the agenda is the update on group life policy, and I will invite my VP, Mr. Yinka Thomas, to give us that copy.
Okay. Mr. Yinka Thomas, over to you.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Once again. Alan, can you hear us? Okay. So, I think, Alan, the reason... I'm not thinking... I got this...
Yeah, he's coming back to exit under AOB.
Yeah, so the reason Alan called back at the right time. The reason why I was just trying to check if it was on the phone is because of the fact that he has also been one of the active drivers to ensure that the group life insurance project, scheme, policy, whatever name you want to call it, is a reality that we can benefit from as an association. Okay, so maybe I just give a little bit of history. When the idea came from Mr. Shagari, okay, this said chairman, whom God knows, it sounded a bit, off the mark, something we hadn't done before, something that probably we didn't think of in that direction by including a third-party, insurer that could take care of affairs in case something goes wrong in our lives. It still has to do with that planning or that commitment about, it still has to do with that commitment on his side to push for us to start considering what will happen to us when we either get into our old age or there's a sudden departure or sudden loss of life in the family. We pray a lot, and I know we all believe in prayers, but circumstances do happen, okay? And we've been in a situation where one or two people had losses, and we've had a situation where even someone was hospitalized, and we had to be donating money or contributing money to be able to help the person. Maybe not just in this group, you find out that in the society generally, we are always very reactive. We're always very reactive. It's only when someone dies that we start remembering what to do for them. When they're alive, or when there's opportunity to plan, we don't put those kind of plans in place. So, the initial proposal was that we're going to pay like 4,000 naira, 4,150 thereof, for 100 participants. And the beauty of it was that if we look at the association of about, in fact, the students of our set, the classmates, were about 240 something. So we just said, okay, something like 50%, 40% I'll say, participation. If 100 people participated, 4,000 naira. What will 4,000 naira per annum cost us in a scenario where we are proactive enough to know that if any incident happens in your family, you have access to 1 million naira, correct? Yeah. 1 million naira for the beneficiary of the family. Imagine if the breadwinner goes away today in your house or incapacitated. Thank you. So imagine the confusion that will set in, the direction that you will go that you will not even imagine. The confusion will be so much. But guess what? Some things have to continue. Your kids need to continue to go to school. Life has to go on. Your rent has to be paid. Your light bills have to be paid. There's no exemption to those things when you lose a loved one. So financially, in order to relieve that initial burden, I think this is the vision that this group life insurance project is all about. That the destabilizing
factors that can come in from a financial point of view is taken care of. So our proactive participation is very, very important in this scheme. So last year, I think it was August, or July, August, thereabouts, we had a meeting in the school that we use in Ikoyi, Lee City University, and the guys from Legal Assurance came to make a presentation to expose our members to this program, right? And a lot of people were very happy. There were lots of round of applauses, and people were dropping in their name, were interested. Because it was a laudable project that everybody wanted to be part of. All of a sudden, 4 months down the line, we decided to do like a conciliation and see, from the list of people that were interested to the amount of people that had paid money, we had only 3 people. Wow. Including himself. So apart from the person that shared the vision, only 2 additional participants had committed. There's a difference between showing interest and putting down your commitment, affirming your commitment to your interest. Then we knew that there was something wrong. So with the help of Mr. Alan Edgar, that is on the phone right now. Alan, are you still there? He's calling me. Oh, okay, so we lost him. So with the help of Alan, myself, Shaye too, we decided that we needed to probably increase awareness about this program. I've spoken to somebody, a couple of people today here, that they're not even sure what the program is all about today. But we understand, because communication is a challenge in every society, in every group, even in your house. You tell someone, don't switch this thing on when we're on generator. You find out that when the generator is on, I don't want to go and switch it on. You know, it happens. So we will not stop from continuing to hammer on the fact that the insurance scheme is a proactive measure for us to automatically take care of a situation that is totally unplanned in a proactive manner. Today, I can announce to you that in a very short period of time, from January till now, the amount of participants have increased from 3 to 16. That's laudable enough, but we still have a long way to go. We are looking at, we have to scale down from 100 participants to only 40, right? And if you reduce the amount of participants, the premium goes up, which is similar to what Apostle Ika was saying about connectivity. It's like the broom. You know, the amount of rubbish you can sweep with a small broom is not the same as the amount of that you can sweep with a bigger broom. So, as a collection of people, we stand a very high chance of gaining a lot if more people get involved. So, right now, we will go with 40 for this current year. We have set a deadline which we've communicated to majority of the people, but again, we keep re-emphasizing that we want to put March as a deadline for the current insurance cycle, so that anybody whose name is on that current insurance cycle, if anything happens in your family, automatically we call up the clause, and the insurer will follow up and make sure that the insurer pays the 1 million naira to the family of the deceased. And this insurance covers yourself, your spouse, and one other member of your family. So look at it that way. It's not just about you. being the one that loses either your potential to work or your life. It is an insurance that covers, you know, the family as well. So think about it. Think about it, guys. And anybody that has any questions or any objections or any that needs more information, do not hesitate to contact either myself, himself, anybody. Throw it to the forum. I know a lot of information gets lost in the forum, but please, as much as possible, contact the person directly, send a WhatsApp message, schedule a call, talk to each other, make 1 or 2 visits, and we'll get over this. Guys, we appreciate you guys, and let us keep the flame burning. Thank you very much.
Maybe I should say something before me. Now,
Alan,
the group life policy that we have for this association was a product that was customized for us. It wasn't on the shelf. It wasn't in existence before. I just share our needs with Leadway. It could be any other insurance company, but they just showed metal. They showed flexibility to say, okay, this is how to make this work. So you cannot go to an insurance, any other insurance company and say you need group life cover. They will be thinking it's the group life, the general group life policy that companies. We are not a company. We are an association. We don't have specific or dedicated products for associations, or registered associations, or these kind of clubs. So it is when you canvass them to say, we need to evolve this. And look at it. The cost of the one that we're able to get right now translates to 652 naira per month. I don't smoke, but I know that a packet of Marlboro is a person and ages. That already shows, hold on now. When you corrected me, Marlboro, it shows that I don't smoke. So you that you know your person and ages are corrected. So how much is a packet of person and ages? So where I'm going, please, is that we are talking of a group cover that if you subscribe to it entitles you potentially to a cover of 3 million naira for 6 years. Because don't forget, it covers life, it covers critical illness, and it covers permanent disability. And each of those events entitle you to 1 million for 8,184 naira per annum. So, which is like 8,200 naira per annum. For me, I think it's an opportunity that we should. I think it's an opportunity we should please take advantage of. You can't get it cheaper than that. You can't get it cheaper than that. And let me say this. I've said it before, and Nika Thomas will disagree with me because he doesn't like it. I'm not going to contribute towards rehabilitating anyone that has the opportunity to take this cover and doesn't take it. If probably I will not be the chairman. So even if they invite me to come contribute, I know. Because it is important for us to do things that will not make us vulnerable when some of these things suddenly happen. So please, if you have not paid, or if you never plan to pay, I will plead with you to change your mind. It's a good cover. It's one of the benefits that we all can get from this particular group. Mr.
I want to appreciate the executive for this gesture. Also, I want to thank them for putting us in mind. Mr. Bawo and Yoriwado Tambawafa. I want to ask, we started this thing for last year. A lot of us are still going from last year. You are asking for money. That money is not money, I can say it. It's not money. We want to know, are we going for both last year and this year to be paid before March deadline?
Now, the cycle runs for 12 months. It's an annual thing. It's an annual cover that we will be purchasing. So, 1st August to July 31. So we are saying that the one for 1st August of this first cycle, which will end July 31, have up to March ending to pay for it. Otherwise, we remove your name from that section. So if it is necessary for us to republish the names of those who are currently within the cover, we will let you publish it so that you can do. Once it is March 31 and you have not paid off, we feel that you don't want to be part of it and we remove your name. So if anything happens, there is nothing you can benefit under that form. So that is how it's going to work. And if you pay and your name is not under the policy because you are not present at that meeting where we put down names, if you pay now, we will use you to replace those. So it's whoever pays that will bring his name and notify that to the insurance company.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
People that I think
for the people that are taking the cupcakes and they don't understand why we are taking the cupcakes. It's not for Malachi. Malachi did not spend money for the cakes. Malachi decided to ride on the fact that this is the first anniversary of this particular expo. We have the bigger cake and we said, because we won't have ladies here to be helping us to slice this into pieces. Hold on, I know you do. That's why we give you cupcake. So we said, okay, let's do the cupcakes for members to participate out of it. Then we will use the bigger cake to take our picture, understand? And yes, we will take it to.
wọ́n ní tí Yorùbá ní à ń pé gbọ́n ní à ń pé gbọ́n tí a bá rí ọlọ́run ẹni sọ̀rọ̀sọ̀rọ̀ á ṣe kí ni àdá ṣẹ̀rí most of us ṣẹ̀rí most of us a máa ń ṣe fàájì a máa ń mọtí a máa ń ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ èmi ń gbé a máa gbọ́nà a máa sùn ọ̀lẹ́ a tún máa sanwó ọmọ tá a bá tó sì lọ́wọ́ tí ò bá ti gbà tó bá ń bèèrè credit fún 2,000 naira lọ́wọ́ wa a máa san at the end of the day wà á rí pé 8,100 and something yẹn ó ti lọ. That is to say, ayé wa tó yẹ kí a fi adójútòfò dì òun láti waste of yẹn.
Ní báńkì onírun.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, so okú bẹ́tà ẹ̀sà tó bá jẹ́ pé à ń ṣe díẹ̀ náà ni ọjọ́ tó bá ká 2,000 mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ ọjọ́ tó bá ká 3K mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ títí tá a máa fi ṣe tán àní mọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ tì ní ọlọ́run á mọ́ wa lé o ẹjọ́ torí tọ́lọ́run ẹ jẹ́ kí gbogbo wa tọ́nà láti ṣe ẹgbọ́n nísì tí mo fi sọ Yorùbá báyìí ìgbà tí tó kó máa sọ ti èèkó lórí àbúlẹ̀ ẹnu mi ti sùn ìgbà tí sẹ́ṣàmà náà máa tún
Yeah.
He's talking about his insurance,
Yes.
his car insurance in the US. Go on.
And I have about 3 months in life insurance. It's never so much. It's to secure your family after you. Like the whole thing, if anything else was right now, the family, the immediate family should have a way of actually helping themselves during the immediate time. Okay? That's what insurance is. No matter how small it is, even if you can pay the entire money at once, $700 every month, $1,000 every month. By the time you're doing, that's what I'm just saying. By the time you're doing, you have to stay in that place. I agree. I don't want to like everybody else. But I know what I want. I know that I have to protect my family first. Please think about that. It's very important. I'm not talking to guys. No. What I'm feeling is what the whole group. I want to love to people for people to understand. I know that this progressive idea, never promise to anything happen. I know that I can made to contribute for such that. For how long will we continue to do that? It's not sustainable. Please guys, let's try, let's make more effort, please. My second thought, which is something that everybody knows already. I have been saying it for the last 4 weeks. It's about attendance.
Attendance.
Yeah.
The attendance.
Yes.
It will be the favorite thing for us to try to understand people that will try to read the most part. That is the one. We're not going to ever get that anytime. But if we can get as much as 100 or even 50, it's something. We all have commitments. Everybody keeps saying they're busy, they're busy, they're busy. I am busy too. Everybody sitting right now is busy as well. Education that's making people do whatever they're doing right now to come spend 4 hours with their mates. There's nothing as good as this. There's so many other benefits that will come through having events. Please guys, thanks for coming. Let's keep it up. Let's continue to make the change, you know, and we'll see how it goes. Now, the next one on my agenda is attendance of ESCO. I've been mentioning it from the beginning of the meeting. My thing is, if ESCO is not in the meeting, how do you know what to celebrate in the ESCO meeting? Whatever they're celebrating on is second-hand information. Which means if the message has been done today, they need to be in meeting. A situation where I become to ESCO and 2-3 weeks after losing the investment is not the nice thing. If people come out of successful election and they think they cannot practice the responsibilities of such position, they should step down. We understand what I can do purposely, but there are so many different conditions, so many different things that prevent them from doing from attending the meeting. We understand whether by attend. We want them to understand that we care about you guys. We thank you for people contesting at all. We thank you for winning. We thank you for actually doing what you're doing from home till now. But if you can't continue the idea of coming once every 3 months, once every 4 months is not the best thing. I am appealing to ESCO members in attendance and absent to please step down. While I was talking about attendance at the hearing, it came to my knowledge that we have ex-officials in ESCO. That has really getting me. I have heard from so many different people about this party. My thing is, if whoever is on ESCO is not in the meeting, why are they in ESCO in the first place? The people that they want to run over other people, and by the way, ESCO is not
Okay, round up. Thank you.
Okay. I have the response of the ESCO.
Okay.
If the conversation that ESCO should be on the ESCO, we need a constitution review. We have to review it. We cannot have eggs. The level of the business of that experience is we have to review the constitution.
We have to review the
constitution. The constitution cannot be part of ESCO. They were not elected. I would rather protest that it becomes an advisory body or a county resolution body.
Okay.
Where ESCO can become them whenever they like.
Okay.
So, thank you for the time given to me. I'm
So basically, I hope you heard what he said.
Yes.
He raised a couple of points around the constitution of our association, the ex-official members, members of the current ESCO, required a review. He talked about the insurance. He talked about attendance. The branch chairman was here. Bamidele, you will have seen your face and known that you also attend the branch meetings a lot. But we're all saying the same thing. Attendance should increase. Please, we are all busy. You understand? This is somebody calling with a 5 hours time zone difference. You understand? So he probably just woke up or was still in bed by the time. So you understand? He's still in bed.
6 o'clock.
He's been calling and calling. And showing that is commitment on its own.
Yeah.
The last ESCO meeting we had also, Stanley Additional was on the phone with us throughout. It's also commitment. So it's call it globalization. That's what we are going through. And finally, Alan talked about ESCO members attending the class M meeting. That if ESCO members are not physically on board, hearing the views of the people, how are they able to deliberate when they hold their ESCO meetings? So these are things that we are friends, yes, we are colleagues, yes, the social association, but there's a level of commitment that comes with being elected into an official position. So we will talk to the other ESCOs, but it's not it's not the sole responsibility. We have friends, common friends amongst them. Please, guys, don't hesitate to talk to your friends in the ESCO. Don't hesitate to talk to don't hesitate to talk to any of your friends that are ex-official members, and just tell them that, guys, we need to be available to the meeting, because the meeting is very, very important. Thank you once again, Alan.
Please, before you respond, I just want us to quickly finish and go to any other business and take this issue on any other business. So the next thing on the agenda is the update on the UK reunion. I think if you have been following the messages on WhatsApp and the messages on Facebook, you will see that our UK coordinator, Mr. Stanley Adeshino, had posted information about the reunion, our class reunion that is going to take place in the United Kingdom between August 25 to 28. So please, he has also posted guidance on how we can get invitation letters. Please, if you know you would like to go, please read through the information he has shared. So read through the information he has shared and begin to plan how you go to be part of that reunion. The next thing on the agenda is also the issue of Mr. Oladele, esteemed principal. So he's going to have his retirement celebration on March 4, Saturday, March 4, 2017. We will encourage all of us to try as much as possible to turn out en masse for that particular event.
It's first weekend in March 4.
He's retiring officially on
GCI now. The event is GCI.
He's retiring officially on
He's an old boy of Methodist, but
So, any other business, and we want to defer the two issues on accounts and attendance to the last AOP that we can take. And then we go to take pictures and our people from Ibadan can begin to go. So I will go very quickly.
When are they starting?
No, the drinks are being served already. So, please, the first item I have for any other business here is that we need to set up a logistic meeting, a logistic committee for our November meeting in Abuja. Because yes, because our meeting in November is going to be hosted. No. The meeting in November is going to be co-hosted by Legelege Ariyo, Mr. Legelege Ariyo and Mr. Muyiwa Madabo. And
Abuja branch.
Abuja branch. It's going to be hosted by the Abuja branch, and it is in Abuja. And I feel that it is important for us to have a committee to begin to explore the modalities for how we are going to be able to attend that particular meeting. Because my brother,
they did meeting
that is why the committee. So if you want to be a part of the committee, let's all your hand.
you can't come back.
You want to be part of the committee. So I feel that it is important for us, if that particular meeting will not fail, because it will not be right for those guys to commit resources to hosting us and they don't show up. And it's once they know that we have set up a committee to look into how we are going to make that happen, I know it will also send a strong signal to them that no be shire. Guys are actually coming from wide and near to make that particular meeting. So that is one issue that I want to raise for our consideration and for nominations into that committee. Now, the second issue is to update you on the hosting calendar for 2017. And it is my pleasure to announce to you that for all the months that we have available in 2017, all have been taken by distinguished members of this service. A round of applause for. So please permit me to read the rollout for you so that you can have it in mind. So this is the calendar of our meeting for 2017. And it should not surprise you that we also have 3 months already taken in advance into 2018. So for January 2017, we've had Mr. and Mrs. Wale Daramola who have hosted us already. And for this February meeting, we already have Mr. Ofe Oyelade, who we are still going to do is a jolly good fellow for and all of those. And I will read out his remarks. March 2017 in Osogbo time, we have Dr. Teddy Fagbega hosting us at that time. For April, we have Mr. Babatunde Okumoyibo, who is here with us in this. That is a Lagos meeting. He is here to communicate value to us, but the hope is not under the sea.
Excuse me, for his meeting, not medical checkup. Come with your vehicles, MOT.
So I was informed this morning by Mr. Yinka Yusuf that May 2017 meeting, which would have been available, has been taken up by our Mr. Moyo Molomo of USA. So May 2017 is available. We had family weekend scheduled for that, but the ESCO advised us to move the family weekend to July. So because of that, May became open. So, and it has been taken by Mr. Oyosore Molomo, our US coordinator. June 2017 meeting is our host, is Mr. Olumide Ogunjimu. So that's July 2017, I can't wait for that. We have Otuba Kule Durojaye hosting us in July 2017. August 2017 is a co-host, is a transatlantic partnership between Mr. Dari Arewa and Mr. Alan Eka. So September and October is our anniversary month, so we don't have any meeting there. So come the big one in November, which is the Abuja, to be co-hosted by Mr. Legelege, Ariyo and Mr. Muiwolado. Of course, December 2017 is the captain's month, so I will be host in that month. So 2018, because whether there is a change of party or there is no change of party, the calendar for 2018 continues. Yeah. So January 2018 is still available, but February 2018 has been informed by Mr. Nika Yusuf that all February till we die is no longer available. It's permanently our permanent host. Our permanent host for February or any February till we die is Nika Yusuf. So please, you need that connection. Hold on. Let me get there. March 2018, Ibadan. Mr. Wale Daramola.
January is Ibadan.
No, we don't. Because it's not that we don't have a host.
But it's January.
No. It's, you know what we are doing is depending on the host. So if the host says, okay, you guys, the next turn is to Lagos. Okay, I'm happy to go to Lagos. So April 2018 still available, but May 2018 is not available. Our host in that month is Mr. Titidaye Abayomi.
Let's see you.
June 2018 is still available. July 2018 is still available. But Mr. Yemi Ogunbiyi has indicated interest in August 2018. So the month of August 2018 is no longer available. Okay, so September, October also is our anniversary month. So then November is still available. November 2018.
You take November.
Mr. Yinka Debu.
I can see and I understand why 3 people will prefer November. It allows for sufficient time to plan. Okay, both of you are co-hosts.
November is my wedding anniversary.
Our co-host for November 2018. Yinka.
He wants July.
July is also taking Pastor Tunde Amode are taking July 2018.
Sorry.
Pastor Tunde and Dr. Ogushola July 20.
Dr. is capable.
It's not about being capable. No.
Hello. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry.
Ladies and
No party for us, you know.
You see, people, we have made progress. Nika Yusuf, don't rush us. We have made progress. We are now able to even plan
Ahead.
till 2018.
Ahead of Nigeria. Nigeria doesn't know what to do.
So if we have people who want to do co-hosting, let us allow them. For people who want to do singular hosting, let us allow them. I was surprised that Yinka Thomas did not want to co-host with me in December.
No, so, you know that.
Don't worry.
Let me raise the point of January. Guys, January is still open, right? And the reason I hesitated, you want to raise your hand for January? Don't say you didn't know. We mentioned it. We're not paying attention. And I've been calling you to pay attention since. You see? We're not paying attention.
What does he want?
Okay, so January, February, we need to pay attention to this.
Hold on. February is taken.
February is our annual general.
He knows. He has already taken.
You are aware of that? You are aware of that?
Yeah.
No wahala.
Okay. So January, but January will be in Ibadan. The AGM is also in Ibadan.
Okay, you want to take January?
I mean, just say it's taking January, but these two people are like.
Forget about them, you take January. They take it, I think remember January. Let me see.
Abeokuta is
That's a good one. That's a good one.
no, I don't understand. Who is taking? Are you taking? Both of you taking?
In where? Abeokuta, January 2018. Abeokuta, January. You know why? I want us to move around.
Okay.
What was your suggestion? You said you wanted us to propose. When?
So that is
Co-host with him.
May 2018. Co-hosting with
Atitidaye. Yinka Thomas.
and co-hosting.
okay. So
Anywhere.
From the way things are going, by the time we circulate this order update to this, the available funds are going to be taken by some other people. And some people can say we should come to Canada. Guys, when two faithful India was going to celebrate his birthday, he decided to take his friends to Dubai. So let us think big.
So since the captain,
No, don't worry, I will do it. No, we are posting already in May. Okay. This man is being prophetic. He said I will be hosting in 2018 December. That means I will see the office. Actually, Stanley Adesina said I should continue to 2022 when he will be ready. So I think we will announce so we have the only months we have left in 2018 are April, June, July. That's all. Let me remove my name from December 2018. In case I'm not in the office, it's still available. There's still vacancy in December. It's the captain. It's the captain's month. It's never taken, so no issue. So let me say captain. Just put captain there. So it's taken by Exactly. So the next AOP from my end is to draw our attention at the ESCO meeting. Incidentally, our target for the anniversary project for this year was 2 million. So when Mr. Fukusho Fagbega circulated that letter that came out that require class sets to contribute 2 million as towards the raising of 250 million they are targeting, it just keyed into our own financial target for the anniversary. So one of the discussions on the ESCO platform is that we should just use that 2 million as our project for this year. So that now, what that means is that we may not, if we adopt that position, we may not do any physical, tangible infrastructure improvement in GCI during the anniversary program. Now, one of the other things that we also explored during Expo discussion is that we realize that our people likes a befitting event. I mean, when you say reunion, dinner, and all of those, and we are saying to ourselves that since a lot of this is creating a burden on the boss of the association, is it possible for some of us within the set to come together to host the social aspect of our reunion program? In which case, for instance, about 5, 10, 20 people can come together and say, look, for the 2017 reunion event, social event, this is what we want to do. And we have that kind of event in the way and manner we want it to go. It's an idea which has not been ratified. It's a suggestion. Just like we have hosts for meeting, can we also co-host the social for our anniversary program? So I said, let me mention this also, that if ratified, if the ESCO agrees and we present it to the House formally maybe at the March 2017 meeting, then we should know that our drive towards the 2 million has started. Because already it's about utilization now, but the financial target for the anniversary project this year is 2 million. So I think those are the 3 things that I have as AOP that I want to raise. But I will still want us to do the logistic committee for November meeting. It would be nice if we can set it up. Mr. Oye?
No. You can. Okay.
You can.
After that.
Good afternoon.
What do I
want
say?
to use this opportunity to apologize to everybody, especially the chairman of the Senate. The letter in that regard was sent through me to be brought to the meeting today, but unfortunately I forgot the letter. Why was it?
No, but we have the letter.
And the officially sent letter.
Sent to DCI 85.
85 cents.
Okay.
The letter was sent to all the assets and all the branches. So they gave me what the money is actually meant to be used for. This year, because all of us have been yearning for the independence of DCI, and DCI will be having full control over government collective.
Malachi, could you use camera?
So, restructuring of government college and getting government college back into its old glory. So the Old Boys, National Old Boys Executive of Government College came up with a proposal to the state government, a template on how to run this year.
That's what the state is using.
That is what the state is now using for the old schools in Oyo State now. The template developed by Old Boys of Government College. We now felt, okay, now, if the station even give this school back to the school, how do we run it? How do we pay salaries? How do we do this? How do we do that? So we are already running out of concept. So they now felt, okay, for us to be able to counter the state government what they want to do, let the whole boys rally around and raise a counterpart funding of 250 million naira to be able to counter the state government that, look, we have this money as whole boys of government college to run our school. So what do you have in your own, what do you have for the school, in your own course for the school? Right now, with the pressure being mounted on the government, they've been able to set up a board of governors for the school. The board of government comprises of 7 people, with 4 people coming from the old students of government college and 1 coming at the head of school. Any present head of school will be a member of that committee. We have the former president of government college, Van Smith, as the chairman of the committee. We have the chairman of government college educational foundation, the person of Yomi Jones, as vice chairman of the committee. We have Jogo Femi Babalola as member, among that I've forgotten his name, and the president head of school of government college. So we need to raise the 250 million. Each branch was asked to pay 5 million naira, and each class to pay 2 million naira to support the foundation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's a point of information. Oli.
Yeah, thank you everybody. I just have 1 or 2 observations and comments. For March meeting in Oshogo, I don't know what the logistics are to get to Oshogo and what time is the meeting.
It's the same date because February and March actually have the same dates.
March 18th.
So it's going to be March 18th.
March 18th. Okay, what time?
Time.
It's
Let's put 11. If we start at 12.
No. 11 might not.
We know.
My brother.
Might not. No, some of us might want to leave Lagos. You can't leave Lagos 7 a.m. and make Oshogo 11.
If you don't leave Lagos, if you don't leave Lagos by 8, 7, 8, you will not get to Ibadan even by 12.
Exactly. So you have to leave earlier.
No. I think we have to take.
What time do you?
No. Why I'm asking this question?
No, propose something.
No. I'm not supposed to. I don't want to propose. What I'm saying is, if meetings normally is 11 o'clock, for states outside our normal routine trips, Lagos to Ibadan, I think we should do like 1 or 2 hours gap. Now, what I'm saying is, even if you go to Oshogo, you can't leave Oshogo 4 p.m. and expect to get back to Lagos that same day.
Okay, my brother.
We have examples where we are going to.
No, that is number 1. Number 2, on the co-host of the anniversary. Yes, in as much as it is laudable idea, but I think it doesn't give us a sense of belonging if 1 or 2 or 3 people
just
come together and host. Yes, as fine as it seems, I understand that some of us might abuse this opportunity. I've seen class sets outside our own, not GCI, even organization. There is this sense of belonging that you get when you're part of, oh yes, I make this anniversary work. That is just my own
fulfillment.
That's number 2. Okay, I think I'm done. So I don't know. No, it's okay.
Please, I want us to be mindful of time. Gary Best.
All right. Please, I will want to support his old servant suggestion too. That is, we should co-host. Let's do it the normal way we do it. That's 1. Number 2, I think we're AOB now. Yeah. What the suggestions Alan raised, I think it is a very major thing we have to look into.
We are going to go to that. Don't worry about it.
Please,
which one? That the issue of the constitution, attendance, and all this. And which is what
you have spoken about 5 times today.
Exactly.
I'm speaking for the first time.
Thank you. You have the floor.
There is this issue. Alan talked about it. It is a critical issue that we should really look into.
Change my
If I would be right, I think I started attending this meeting September.
Yes.
These executives have been in existence. This present executive
Before you
have been in existence. If I would tell you vividly, I am not aware of every executive members
who they are
of this set. It is very, very shameful and disgraceful. Let us be sincere when it comes to that time. I could say that since I've been attending, the executive seat has always been vacant. No executive member seated. As an executive, because before you could venture and say you want to either contest for the seat or something, the commitment should have been there. I think Alan talked about it. Some people have planned about it. But I'm bringing up a suggestion, and my suggestion is that fine if they cannot stand up to the challenges that's before them, because every executive member has a challenge. If they cannot stand up to it,